It's finale time as the Stevens Point Pointers play host to the rival Lacrosse Eagles in this regular season finale in conference play. Live from Gorky Field in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, this is Pointers football on SBTV and the UWSP Athletics Network. My name is Alex Strofe, alongside Michael Wengen one final time this season. Mike, happy Saturday. I can't believe the college football season already coming to an end.
It is, and you know, it's always bittersweet too whenever seniors are playing their final game in any kind of sport. Today being the final home game and final game of the season for this Pointers 2019 squad. Looking to close out the season with the W and finish off a up and down season, a few good wins, a few big wins, but also some tough losses this year as well.
Definitely a roller coaster of a season, as you alluded to, Mike. 3-6 record overall, 2-4 in conference play, coming off a loss at UW-Platteville last week. We'll jump into that in a minute. Before that, a win over Eau Claire 2 weeks ago here in Stevens Point, 40-12. So just in that two-game spread, you go from a 30-ish point victory to a 30-ish point loss. So it's been one heck of a season for this Stevens Point team, but they look to close it out with a positive note today against Lacrosse, who is 6-3, 4-2 in conference play. They rank fourth in the WIAC at 4-2, tied with Platteville at 4-2 in WIAC play. They're coming off a big win over UW-Eau Claire at home last week, 42-7 in that one. Pure dominance from the standpoint of Lacrosse. Let's take a look at this Lacrosse team now, who Stevens Point's defense will have their hands full with today. The main reason is quarterback Evan Lewandowski. Lewandowski has started all 9 games this season, thrown for over 2,600 yards and 27 touchdowns. Not too shabby of a stat line there for Lewandowski.
Yeah, definitely not. Lewandowski has been the man behind the charge here for UW Lacrosse, and he looks to do the same thing here today against UWSP. Meanwhile, going up against him is the man leading the UWSP charge, Matt Ermansky, who has also started all 9 games this season. His stats have been, for the most part, fairly consistent. Has had a few games where he struggled throwing the ball, but at the same time also had a few big games last week against, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, against UW-Eau Claire, threw for 4 touchdowns on the day. Meanwhile, last week throwing only 2 touchdowns and also a pick as well. So there's been some times this year where Ermansky has been very good in games, but also at times where he's had a little bit of difficulties trying to lead the offense.
Yeah, it seems like since week 1, Ermansky was asked to step in relief for Max Hero, who suffered a season-ending leg injury. Max Hero, the sophomore quarterback. So Ermansky, the senior, thrown back into his starting position in week 1. He's been the starter since week 1, and as Mike said, it's been up and down. A huge week against Eau Claire 2 weeks back, and last week against Platteville, he finished 20 of 31 for 200 on the dot, 2 touchdowns, and an INT. Not a horrible day at the office, but also only putting up so many points, 14 to be exact. Overall, a tough one, but he'll look to rebound in his career finale. The farewell tour ends today for the 9 seniors on this Pointers team as they take on UW Lacrosse. Mike, talk to me. The offense without Jahai Stegall today, how do they get going early and look to compete throughout this one?
Well, the run game this year for Stevens Point has been a little bit of a little less factor, I guess, in some games. You know, as you mentioned, Jahai Stegall, unfortunately, not in today's lineup. He missed last week's, or I should say 2 weeks ago, the last home game for UWSP against UW-Eau Claire. So it's going to be a challenge. Shamaje Williams will be taking a lot of the carries today. I can also see Jeffrey Williams, the freshman running back as well, handling a little bit of the workload. He had 2 touchdowns against Eau Claire as well, so that's something to keep in mind, that Jeffrey Williams will be somewhat of a factor in this backfield today.
I want to place a spotlight on Jeffrey Williams, Mike, because throughout the season it seems like it's been a sudden rise for the freshman, right? Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Williams was very minimal. His role was absolutely minimal games 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden here comes this freshman running back, and now he finds himself in the 2 deep depth chart that we're given before each game. He's with Stegall out. It is the Williams tandem in the backfield, both Samaje and Jeffrey. What do you look for in Jeffrey Williams today as he is going to get extensive playing time in the finale?
Well, when we saw 2 weeks ago against UW-Eau Claire, he definitely liked to play a lot of the outside role. He definitely got the ball a lot out in the flat from Hermansky, and, of course, he would take the outside carry as well. He would go out and, find an opportunity to get through and make some big plays when Shamaje Williams wasn't taking the carries from Hermansky. So I expect to see something out of that again today from Jeffrey Williams. But, again, as you mentioned, the Williams backfield is going to be a lot of fun to watch today. Unfortunately, no Jahai Stegall for the season finale, but at the same time, Jeffrey Williams could be somebody that the Pointers look to for future seasons, and especially as he's only a freshman.
You mentioned his role as a receiving back. He has more receptions than rushes, just by one on the season. 13 rushes for a total of 57 yards on the season for Jeffrey Williams. But from the receiving standpoint, 14 receptions, 135 yards, and those 2 scores, as Mike mentioned. Defensively now, we had a scare pregame as Berkeley Corvino was helped off. It looks like he will still go today, but we will keep you posted on that. Defensively, we've mentioned how fast-paced, how good La Crosse's offense is. What can this very good Stevens Point defense do to slow them down today in the finale?
Well, we've seen quite a few performances from guys out on the defensive side of the ball. Donovan Lucas is one man to mention. He has 3 interceptions on the season, as well as Felix King and O.J. James behind him with 2 interceptions as well. Of course, you got to look at guys who play in the backfield as well. Sam Schaefer, Cameron Krasansky, those guys can put some pressure up at the line. They're not big guys, but they are guys that can rush the ball or rush the offensive passing attack of Lewandowski. So we've seen quite a few performances, solid performances from the defense so far this season, but we also seen them at times struggle to get offenses off the field as well. So today it's going to be quite a challenge against Lewandowski and as the rest of the UW La Crosse offense goes out there. So, yeah. But there's definitely some opportunities for the UWSP defense to go out there and make some big plays.
UW La Crosse, the least amount of points they've scored this season, 17. They've done that twice, both in losses to number 16 at the time, Dickinson State, and 2 weeks back against number 3, UW Whitewater. In every other game, though, they get well within the 30s and even 40s sometime because they have that fast-paced offense. They're a throw-first offense, as mentioned. They run through Evan Lewandowski, who, again, if you're just joining us, over 2,600 yards on the season, 27 touchdowns on the season through the air for Evan Lewandowski. He's got a favorite target, although he likes to spread the wealth. He does have a favorite target. That's Cole Speaker, who has 72 receptions for 1,130 yards and 12 touchdowns in 9 games. That is first-team all-conference numbers for Cole Speaker, and it also goes around, as I mentioned, he spreads the wealth. Jake Simonchek, 53 receptions, 630 yards, 4 touchdowns. And Cameron Sorensen, 27 catches, 594 yards, 8 touchdowns. So between those 3 targets, that's 24 of Lewandowski's 27 touchdown passes on the year. So it is the big 3 in the receiving corps for UW La Crosse.
No shortage of wide receivers out there for Lewandowski to throw. UWSP also has some favorable targets for Matt Hermansky. Jonte Webb leads the team right now in receptions, 721 yards on the year. Shamaje Williams right behind him with not as many yards receiving as Jonte Webb. But, again, Hermansky will find somebody to throw to if he has the opportunity. And we're going to see quite a bit of the passing game on both sides today for both these teams.
Well, we are going to take our first time out. On the other side, we'll do our X Factors, and it will be game time in the season finale. This is Stevens Point Football on SBTV and the UW Stevens Point Athletic Network.
You can't go and work for a software company that's quite like this.
With programming, you see this concept become a reality, and I think that's really rewarding.
When people first come in, they immediately realize they are a part of a family.
They really care that people are happy here.
You're going to find that you're going to get up in the morning and you're going to look forward to coming to work.
We've got a core of individuals that are going to reach a lot of new heights.
We're growing fast and always hiring. Apply today at skyward.com/careers.
Quiet on set.
We'll be back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take Ben.
Live at SPTV, mic check, audio check, news directors adjusting the sound, teleprompter running smoothly. Floor director, alert! Cameras are rolling, bring in the talent. Where's the makeup artist? Anchors ready for the news. Are you ready to join SPTV? That's a wrap. Lights out.
Back live at Gerke Park in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, as we gear up for this WIAC meeting between the 6-3 La Crosse Eagles and the 3-6 Stevens Point Pointers in this regular season finale, the season finale for Stevens Point. And it'll be a fun one. The colors have been presented, and the captains are going to meet midfield to figure out who's going to be receiving / kicking / defending, all that fun stuff, right?
Yeah, and you mentioned this, Alex, too, during the pregame show. Berkeley Corvino, who was taken to the sideline during warm-ups, he's out there with the captains right now, and he looks like he's walking out there with.
Looks like he's okay.
Looks like he's all right, but we'll have to keep an eye on him though, and see how well he handles today, and see if he's going to play that much for UWSP, as that could be a factor.
Also should be mentioned, Jahai Stegall is dressed, so we will see if we see Stegall. He had very minimal action last week, only 2 carries for 9 yards. As mentioned earlier, did not play 2 weeks ago against UW-Eau Claire as he's easing his way back in from a concussion. So we'll see what we'll see out of the junior running back if he goes today. Mike, one more time, the Stevens Point offense. It is the final time we'll see them this year, but this is one heck of a group, and as they look to leave their mark, if you will, as Matt Hermansky, Jonte Webb, and others in their final game, what can they do?
Obviously the biggest factor, the biggest thing that you always want to do is go out and score points. If you can get on the board first and kind of keep your foot on the gas pedal, that's great. You got the momentum going your way. Of course, though, once you have your foot on the gas, you can't take your foot off of it, though, because sometimes teams can play a little conservatively, but I don't think head coach Greg Breitbach plays that way at all. So, of course, we're going to see Matt Hermansky out there for the final time, thrust into the starting role when I don't think he was really expecting to be starting all that much this season, but nonetheless, the senior quarterback has done well this season, looking to close out his senior season as well as send out the rest of the seniors on this team out with the victory.
We'll have to wait to see Hermansky as La Crosse will receive as we kick things off. La Crosse will work from our right to our left, and Stevens Point obviously will work from our left to our right. That is where they will set up at the 30-yard line to kick off this season finale. Alex Strofe alongside Michael Wengen one final time on the football field here at Gerke Park in the Don Friday press box. Thanks for hanging with us on a Saturday afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Lots of action in the WIAC today. We'll get to that shortly. But it's a battle between the Eagles, led by head coach Mike Schmidt in his 4th season, and the Pointers with head coach Greg Breitbach in his 2nd season here from Stevens Point. The season finale for these two Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference teams will be underway as sophomore Victor Ponterio sets it up. The leg swept the ball end over end, traveling back deep, and that will not even be attempted for as it bounces out of the back of the end zone. We'll start off with a touchback.
And we'll get to see our first look at the UW La Crosse offense. As you mentioned, Alex, they are one of the top offenses in the WIAC this season. We'll see Lewandowski go out there and lead the way with Cole Speaker as well, his top target. And also got to give a little bit of a mention to their running game as well. Joey Stutzman will be taking quite a few carries.
He's the workhorse back there, indeed, about 600 yards on the year. Lewandowski, the sophomore from Lake Zurich, Illinois, will lead things out of the shotgun. Receiver in motion, he'll take the snap, and that's the direction it will go. It's Cole Speaker, his favorite target. He's running up the sideline, big gain to start things off for La Crosse. Gain of about 15 on the play for Speaker, who let the wheels run wild in that one.
Yeah, great, interesting play right there by Lewandowski. Just pitched the ball right there to Speaker, and Speaker just used the legs to go downfield and pick up a first down on the first play of the game.
Pull a trick out of the bag right from the get-go, does Mike Schmidt and company for this La Crosse team. Now Lewandowski's going to hand it off to Stutzman right up the middle, who pushes his way forward for a nice gain toward midfield now for the Eagles, who are rolling early in this one.
And it's still early, Alex, but at the same time, UW La Crosse looks very confident out there right now. 2 plays right now all the way at midfield, and we've only just gone about 45 seconds into the game.
2nd and 2 right from midfield as Lewandowski will stand in the gun. Stutzman to his left, 1 receiver each side. Defense going to bring a 5-man rush, but Lewandowski gets rid of it quickly, good for a first down. Caught by Sorensen, who usually number 86. He's wearing number 3 today, Cameron Sorensen, the sophomore wide receiver from Oshkosh.
And I have a feeling Lewandowski's going to be looking not only just towards Speaker, but several other targets as well out there for UW La Crosse.
We mentioned it earlier. He likes to spread the wealth, and he's done it so far. Only 80 seconds into this one, 13:40 and counting in this first quarter. Lewandowski out of an offset pistol now. He'll fake the handoff. Will drop back to pass. Pressure coming over the middle. Incomplete. Slipped right through the hands of Speaker there, right around the 30-yard line. Nice pressure by the point defense, who were collapsing the pocket on Lewandowski. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 42 of Stevens Point.
Felix King, we saw right there, make a rush in towards Speaker as he was trying to catch the ball. And luckily, King didn't have to worry too much as the ball was just too much for Speaker to hang on. And Felix King, again, a name that we mentioned in the broadcast, very vital to this Pointers defense.
No gain on first down, so they'll bring in all the targets. And Lewandowski's going to take it himself up the middle, breaking a tackle and reaching forward up to the 30-yard line. Good for a fresh set of downs and a 12-yard rush for Evan Lewandowski.
Lewandowski looking like a jack of all trades here. He can do it all. Throw the ball, hand it off, and he'll just take it up himself. That's a great carry right there for Lewandowski.
You see the different things that are being thrown at the Stevens Point defense. So far, so good for Mike Schmidt's offense. First down now for La Crosse. Lewandowski out of the gun, receiver to each side. Now Speaker is going to get the pitch. Same play they ran on the first one, and it's going to work similarly as he's got space up to the 15-yard line. Good for another first down, and roughly another gain of 15 yards for Cole Speaker.
As you mentioned, the Pointers defense already being worked quite a bit here on this first offensive drive for UW La Crosse, as the Eagles now just 2.5 minutes in the game have already entered the UWSP red zone, and they are knocking on that door.
Knocking on that door, as we like to say in this press box. First down now in the red zone from the 16-yard line of Stevens Point. Lewandowski again in the gun. Stutzman next to him. Lewandowski's going to drop back, roll out of the pocket, rolling right. He's got nice blockage inside the 10 now, and that's where he'll slide down. As a slew of pointers were surrounding him, he decided to jump into the nice turf. But that's good for a gain of about 7. Make it 2nd and 3 from the 9.
While it was a great run there by Lewandowski, the Pointers secondary did a great job man-to-man on the offensive receiving core for UW-La Crosse. That made Lewandowski take it up himself, but he had no troubles again, Alex, taking that ball up.
Stevens Point going to stack the box. They've got 9 men there. As it goes to Stutzman, who's got a nice block up the middle, reaching forward. That's a touchdown for UW-La Crosse on their opening drive. Took them just over 3 minutes. And Joey Stutzman is in for a touchdown.
Not really much right there that the Pointers did the tackle and bring down Stutzman. And as we see now, UW-La Crosse on the board for the first time in this game on their very first offensive series.
Took just over 3 minutes for Joey Stutzman, who ran it in from 9 yards out. The point after from Ryan Byrne now is up. Through the uprights, good. It's 7-0. La Crosse leads early. Still a lot of time left in this one. We're going to take a quick time out. This is Pointers football on SBTV.
UW Stevens Point is home.
It's a university where
30 seconds.
Your name and get you involved in research.
They inspire us to realize big dreams.
At UW Stevens Point, sustainability is what we stand for.
Our beautiful campus encourages exploration, developing new fields, and problem solving for the real world.
It's a great place to launch your career.
UW Stevens Point is home.
Apply today at uwsp.edu.
We welcome you back to Gerke Park in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, as Joey Stutzman gives the La Crosse Eagles an early 7-0 lead on a 9-yard rushing touchdown. 11:41 remains in this first quarter as Stevens Point's offense will see its first playing time of the afternoon, but maybe not, as Donovan Lucas, who's making his case for Special Teams Player of the Year in the WIAC, is back to return this one. He's got 2 kickoff return touchdowns on the season, a 2-time WIAC Special Teams Player of the Week this year, also a 1-time Defensive Player of the Week in the WIAC is Donovan Lucas. Here's the kick from Byrne, up deep, end over end, will be fielded at about the 12-yard line. Up to the 20 left sideline, around the 25 is where he's wrapped up, spinning, and eventually pulled out of bounds at about the 23-yard line.
That's Jonah
Fryer on the return.
But here comes the UWSP offense now for their first crack on the offensive series as Matt Hermansky comes out for his final start.
He's had a solid year thus far, has Hermansky in relief of Max Hero, and as mentioned, his final start here on Senior Day in Stevens Point. Jonte Webb, a fellow senior in motion. Shamaje Williams will get the handoff. Nice hole through the C-gap as he'll plow his way forward past the 25-yard line. Nice play by the junior tailback, Shamaje Williams, who's had a heck of a season thus far. Came into today 578 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, but also plays a role in the passing game, 200 yards receiving on the year for Shamaje Williams.
And we got stoppage of play. We got, looks like, trainers coming out to attend to a injured pointer on the field.
Believe it is Jalen Burks, he's a starting left tackle.
And he is a senior as well on this program. And that's something that the Pointers don't want to see to anybody in their program, especially not to Jalen Burks, who's been such a valuable part of this program.
We are going to step aside while the trainers tend to Jalen Burks at about the 25-yard line. This is Pointers football on SBTV. Jalen Burks being helped off the field by some of his teammates. Only about 3.5 minutes into this one. The senior left tackle, Jalen Burks, being helped off. We hope he's all right.
Yeah, that's tough to see here, especially on senior day. Jalen Burks,
who's been a captain the last 2 years, one of the top guys on this team, top leaders in that locker room. You hate to see something like that, especially to a guy like Jalen Burks. We hope he's all right. But for the meantime, that brings in Luke Miller at left tackle. He's a freshman from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. 2nd down and 6 now as Matt Urmanski's in the pistol formation. 2 targets to his left toward the top of your screen, and we're going to have movement
and
before the ball's even snapped.
Looks like it's going to be on the Pointers. They jumped too quickly.
And it was Ben Gosenheimer, the right tackle, guilty of jumping early, so make it 2nd and 11 now as you back up 5 yards for that. That's called a penalty, Mike.
Good to know. Learning. Good to know.
More movement as they're going to reset, look to the sideline like they often do. Shamaje Williams going to flex to the bottom of your screen now at the 20, and Urmanski will be alone in the gun. He'll take the snap, dropping back, eluding pressure over the middle of Shamaje. He's got him. He breaks a tackle up the middle. Lowers his head, good for a gain of about 16 yards. Shamaje Williams on the reception.
Rumbling and tumbling, Shamaje Williams making a nice reception right there and breaking through, picking up a few extra yards on that. That's we like to see that, especially out of a back like Shamaje Williams. On the
Jeffrey
outside.
Williams and Jahai Stegall now both in the game. They surround Urmanski out of the gun as he steps to the line to reset. Devin Baldridge and Jonte Webb, the targets at the bottom of your screen. As Urmanski's still looking to the sideline. Some reassurance. As the play clock is ticking down to 2, 1, snaps off, goes to Jeffrey Williams' right side. And he's going to wait for the blocks to develop, and he'll be tackled around the 39-yard line of Stevens Point. Good for maybe a gain of 1.
Saw Jonte Webb right there kind of make a block for Jeffrey Williams on the outside right there. But Williams, again, I have a feeling we'll get a few more carries this game. We're not going to see anything less from him, especially here as we get to the halfway point of the first quarter.
Markel Outlaw now in the game at the bottom of your screen. And James Thompson, the fullback, is checked in. He's in motion, moving behind the line now into a wide receiver, more tight end position. Urmanski in the gun now. He'll take the snap and drop back. Looking left, throwing. Oh, and in and out of the hands of Devin Baldridge, who's hit as he tries to bumble that one around the hands, but he cannot hang on to that one. That'll make it 3rd down.
Devin Baldridge, a name that we've mentioned several times this year on all of our broadcasts, Alex. He had the game-winning touchdown catch against then-ranked number 21 Wabash College in the home opener of the 2019 Pointer season. Had a few catches last home game against UW Eau Claire, but drops that one, unfortunately.
Stegall, Williams, that's Jeffrey. Stegall in motion now, and Urmanski will step back as he takes the snap. Over the middle to Baldridge again. That time it's caught for a 1st down right at the 50-yard line. But Baldridge is hit hard, and he's slow to get up.
Yeah, and he took quite a hit on that last that last throw to him as well. And, yeah, he's got the helmet off and everything. The trainers are they get out there in no time.
He will walk off under his own power, thankfully.
Yeah, so that means Sonny Saki is going to check in now for the Pointers. He's out there, the wide receiver out of Brussels, Wisconsin.
Sonny Saki, who's made a name for himself this season. He's had a solid year and has played a nice role. 13 catches, 108 yards so far in the season for the junior Sonny Saki. He's at the top of your screen. It's Nathan Schmidt, the tight end, at the bottom of your screen, and Stegall next to Urmanski in the gun. 4-man rush for La Crosse as Stegall will take it up the middle, breaking a tackle past the 50, and good for a gain of about 1, Jahai Stegall, the junior.
And he still did not want to go down on that carry. It's interesting, we mentioned this too. The Pointers were without Jahai Stegall against UW Eau Claire 2 weeks ago, and last week had only limited amount of carries against UW Platteville. This one only good for about a yard or so. So the Pointers are going to try and utilize their backfield as much today as they can.
From the 49-yard line now. Shotgun formation as the quarterback group, like they always do, signals from the sideline. And that's where Hermansky and company will look. They've got their play. 5 on the game clock, and Hermansky takes the snap. Over the middle. Nice throw. Caught. Marco Outlaw on the spin. And he's good inside the 30, still on his feet, and it'll be whistled dead.
That's actually Josh
Shizeski.
We have 2 number 3s in the
number
program,
3s.
Alex.
Josh Shizeski on the reception. My apologies, folks.
Solid play there by Shizeski. Nice reception, and it took a slew of Eagles to bring him down on that one.
Shizeski, a true freshman, making a big play as Stevens Point now rolling inside Eagles territory from the 30. Handoff to Segal, who's running left side. He's got space up the sideline, a stiff arm, and tumbling toward the first down marker. A nice carry by Jahai Segal, who looks like he's back to 100% after a few weeks on the shelf. And a quick no huddle for Stevens Point. It'll again go to Segal. Weaving in between tackles, and he's running with a purpose today inside the 15-yard line now.
And now the Pointers have entered the UW-La Crosse red zone as we have officially reached the halfway mark of the first quarter.
7:20 and counting now left in this first quarter as Stevens Point first offensive possession is making its way toward the end zone. As we like to say, Mike, knock, knock, knocking on that La Crosse door. 1st and 10 now from the 16 of La Crosse. Hermansky out of the gun once again. Webb in motion. Fake to Webb. Over the middle. Throwing. Caught. Touchdown, James Thompson. The fullback gets down there. Makes a catch for the Stevens Point offense to make this a 7-6 ball game. 16 yards. Hermansky to Thompson.
That was a great read by Hermansky right there. Thompson was wide open in the end zone. It's not every day you see these fullbacks get out there in the open and make the reception for 6 points. And the extra point for Pontario, looking to tie up the game at 7.
Hermansky also the holder for this Pointers team, so he'll stay on. He'll put the hold down. Pontario's kick up and good. This ball game is tied 7-7. Still a lot of football left to be played. 6:58. Just about 7 minutes left in this first quarter. So 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns in the book so far for each team. What do we think so far about 7.5, 8 minutes into this one?
Well, both teams scoring on their first offensive drives of the game. The Eagles got it done in about 3.5 minutes, while the Pointers did it in about the same amount of time. I think UWSP was very good in controlling the game clock right there, keeping that UW-La Crosse offense off the field and putting together a nice-looking drive right there. Again, we still got a whole lot of ball game left, and we're only halfway through the first quarter, but both these teams already on the board today.
7-7, 6:58 remains in this first quarter as Pontario will set things up to kick him away to the La Crosse side of things. So far, so good in this season finale. Full slate in the WIAC this afternoon. The big one, though, tonight as UW Oshkosh plays host to UW Whitewater at 6 p.m. Winner of that game, winner of the WIAC. Automatic bid to the NCAA tournament as Pontario's kick up and away. This one will be returned now. It's Simacek. He's up the middle, got some space, cutting, weaving. He's still got blacks past the 40 up to the 43-yard line of La Crosse. Nice play by Jake Simacek, the junior wideout from South Milwaukee.
And that's a name that we had to keep an eye on today for UW La Crosse. Simacek, a man who is very good, and it looks like we do have a flag that after the play.
And it is a holding on the return, so it won't be all the way up to the 43-yard line. That'll be retracted a little bit, but regardless, nice wheels from the junior wideout for the Eagles.
And we should mention this too, Alex, about special teams. 2 weeks ago when the Pointers were hosting UW-Eau Claire, special teams was a little bit of a factor in the game. Donovan Lucas had a punt return, or kick return for a touchdown, I should say, but kicking extra points was kind of a bad day on both sides. I believe UWSP had 3 missed extra points, and UW-Eau Claire had about the same amount as well.
6:48 on the game clock now as Lewandowski will hand that off on first down. That's Clark on the carry. Jalen Clark, the senior running back from St. Louis, Missouri.
I think Berkeley Corvino was the pointer who made the tackle right there. As we mentioned, he did go to the sidelines during the pregame warmups, but out there for the pointers and has a tackle out there on the day.
Corvino. You know, I got to bring this up. It's listed as St. Louis Miss, M-I-S-S. Missouri or Mississippi now? Obviously it's Missouri, but isn't that usually the abbreviation of Mississippi? Just a mental note I'm having. Anyway, second down now as Lewandowski will hand it off once again. Now more space. Ball's loose as Berkeley Corvino's jumping on top of it. It's stumbling around. It will be the Pointers' recovery.
And that's a big swing for the Pointers.
I believe that was Jawan Downing who finally jumped on top of it. And it was Downing who was able to get a hold of that as the Pointers will turn it over. Or excuse me, the Eagles will turn it over. The Pointers will take over in Eagles territory from the 27-yard line.
And already great field position for the Pointers here as they're right around the 20-yard line of UW-La Crosse. And the Pointers offense back to work. They could potentially get a score right here.
So Hermansky will start out of the gun. He'll drop back on first down. Faking, pressure, throwing through the hands again of Devin Baldridge, just a bit high for the tall wideout.
Hermansky was under a little bit of pressure right there. Had to just move outside just to get the ball out to Devin Baldridge, but he was running in traffic. Baldridge, again, does have a reception on the day, but I think the Pointers right here are going to move some guys around. That's the case.
And they will. They're always shifting. Two receivers to each side as Hermansky throws, and he throws it to James Thompson, who had a touchdown catch earlier in this one. The fullback making his presence felt on the receiving side of things.
So 3rd and 6 for UWSP, but putting great field position off that UW-La Crosse fumble.
Hermansky alone in the gun. 3 receivers left, 2 to the bottom of your screen as Hermansky will drop back on 3rd down. Throwing, and it's incomplete, I believe intended for Shamaje Williams there on 3rd down. But they're going to bring out Victor Ponterio, who, as we always say, it's been a up-and-down year for the sophomore kicker. He was the hero many times last season, his freshman campaign, but this season has been an interesting one for him.
And on that last play, Shamaji Williams cut inside. He was wide open, too. He was looking to pick up a first down as well, but the Pointers will have to try and settle for a field goal.
Ponterio 4 of 9 on the year. Here is the 10th attempt as that is bobbled. Hermansky's going to pick it up, throw it, and incomplete, and will roll out of bounds ultimately. So a bad snap leads to that as La Crosse will take over.
So the Pointers were given a gift on that fumble by UW-La Crosse.
An opportunity to take the lead.
But they just botch it away as the La Crosse offense comes back out on the field. And now the Pointers defense has to go back to work. But they have a turnover now on the game so far. But the question is, how much can they contain the offensive attack led by quarterback Evan Lewandowski?
You give Evan Lewandowski an opportunity now as this game is still tied. 5:25 remaining in this first quarter. Lewandowski now out of the offset pistol. Fake the handoff, drop back to pass. Looking deep, and he's got him. It's his favorite target, Speaker.
Nice catch towards the sidelines by Speaker, able to keep his feet in bounds too. Donovan Lucas was right there trying to keep up with Speaker, 17 versus 17, but Speaker, again, the top target for the UW-La Crosse offense, making another big reception.
Yeah, Cole Speaker came into this game with 1,130 yards in the 9-game season. Ridiculous numbers for him. As this one will go to Stutzman, who's weaving and cutting still on his feet. And the speedy back is up to the 45-yard line of La Crosse, knocking on midfield territory there. Just play by Stutzman.
Just under 5 minutes now here in the first quarter, and we've seen the momentum shift from one squad to another here. The Pointers got on the board after the UW-La Crosse scored on their first drive as well. But UWSP failing to capitalize on a turnover. And instead, UW La Crosse now looking to get back on the board.
They'll officially mark it at the 44, so 2nd and 1 as Lewandowski rolls, throws, caught, space, and he's going to make the most of it, stopping, cutting, weaving in between, still on his feet now, outside, up the sideline, up to the Stevens Point 40-yard line. It's Jake Simonchek again. That was a strategic run. It's been a while since I've seen something like that. Well done by Simonchek. Good for a first down.
I think the great Vince Lombardi always used to say is like, nobody's tackling out there. Everybody just grabbing. Well, the Pointers weren't grabbing Simonchek at all. I don't think they even got a hand or two on him before they finally brought him down right past midfield.
I think number 22 broke some ankles there. Did Simonchek. Good for a first down now from the 42 Pointer territory. Lewandowski will throw, and it's Speaker again who's spinning and will eventually be brought down by Cameron Krasansky, the junior linebacker and captain for this Pointers team. Gain of about 6 there, up to the 36 of Stevens Point, as La Crosse once again is rolling on their 3rd offensive possession of the game.
And the Eagles, they're not wasting any time in slowing down the tempo of the offense that they got right now, as they got a couple legs that check in out of the game for the Eagles.
As Zach McManus, the big tight end, at 6'2", 240 from up the road in Marshfield, just checked in. Lewandowski alone, but he'll give it to Speaker, who's going to flex it outside right side, breaks a tackle from Felix King, is still on his feet up the sideline past the 30-yard line, and the first down marker. Cole Speaker has been ridiculously valuable for this La Crosse offense thus far.
Head coach Mike Schmidt really likes that play where Lewandowski takes the snap and just pitches it right to Cole Speaker, and Speaker will do the rest of the work as he'll just go along the sidelines up there. Had no problem getting the first down and more, and the Eagles inch more into the Pointers' red zone.
As Grandma always said, you don't fix what's not broke. As Lewandowski hands this one off to Stutzman on first down, who's weaving his way. He's got a hole up the sideline. 15 up to the 12-yard line for Felix King. Finally tracks him down. But Stutzman just eluded the entire Stevens Point defense into the red zone and a first down. Joey Stutzman on the run.
Stutzman does the same kind of work that Speaker will do on the outside. The holes that the UW La Crosse offensive line has opened up for these these ball carriers has been phenomenal so far. They've had no problem getting up the middle and breaking off some big carries here.
First down from the 11, 1st and 10 in the red zone of Stevens Point. 7 men in the box for Stevens Point. Flags are thrown before the play. Had some motion, and it will be a false start on the offense.
So the Eagles just only back up 5 yards. But 2 minutes left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, we are stopped on 2 minutes flat. Tie game, 7-7. As the clock will resume now, ticking under the 2-minute mark. 1st and 15 from the 16 of Stevens Point. Alliteration, folks.
Is that today's lesson here in the broadcast?
Of course, yes. We always have to learn something, as we are going to have a timeout taken. And that is the first timeout for La Crosse. They have 2 remaining, as we have 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 7-7, though La Crosse is in the Stevens Point red zone. We're going to take a timeout. This is Stevens Point football on SBTV and the UWSP Athletic Network.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Back at Gerke Park in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, as Stevens Point and La Crosse putting up a fight here. 1 minute 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and as you can see, the score is tied 7-7. But La Crosse in the Stevens Point red zone. It is 1st and 15 from the 16-yard line of Stevens Point. Lewandowski now in the pistol. A receiver to each side and Stutzman behind him. That's where it'll go. Stutzman cutting left in the B gap and taken down again by Felix King, who's been all over the place for the Stevens Point defense early, but not before a bit of a gain for Joey Stutzman.
Yeah, and La Crosse doing a great job of just keeping the game on the ground so far. Had a few great passes through the air as well, but so far today the ground game for UW La Crosse has been phenomenal so far.
It is 2nd and 11 from the 12-yard line as the first down marker's on the 1-yard line for La Crosse. Now about 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. See if they can punch it in before we expire time. Lewandowski now rolling to his right, throwing, caught inside the 5. And that's the number change, Cameron Sorensen on the reception. Usually number 86, today he's number 3. And that's good for a nice gain. Where will they mark it is the question, the 4-yard line. So it is 3rd and 3 from the 4.
The first third down situation of the game for UW La Crosse. I don't think we've seen them have to deal with this kind of situation all so far today, and they do that, and they have it right here late towards the end of the first quarter as they look to get on the board.
Lewandowski now calling for motion from Sorensen. He'll take the snap. Fake the handoff, rolling right, pressure coming, thrown, incomplete. On 3rd down, make it 4th down. And will they bring in Byrne, their kicker?
And it
looks like Lewandowski's signaling he wants his offense to stay out there.
4th and 3 situation from the Pointers 4-yard line. Only 14 seconds left in the
It's important to point that out, Mike. You're absolutely correct. It is 4th and 3. It's not 4th and goal technically. The first down marker at the 1-yard line. So they could still get a first down without scoring a touchdown in a strange occurrence if possible.
And they're going
to use a second timeout with 14 seconds left in the first quarter. La Crosse is going to burn their second timeout here in this first quarter. Interesting choice by Mike Schmidt and company, but they're going to think this over on 4th down.
Yeah, and usually if you're on the road, in this kind of situation, usually you'll want to just take the points. But I think Mike Schmidt is not afraid at all to maybe go for it here. All they have to do is just pick up 3 yards to get the first down and set up 1st and goal. But at the same time, they could also easily punch it in for 6. So a little bit of decision-making right here for the UWL coaching staff. And Lewandowski does go back on the field, so it looks like they are going to go for it.
Interesting choice for La Crosse's offense as they huddle up once again among the sideline. Elsewhere in the WIAC today, UW-Platteville on top of UW River Falls, currently 14-7 in the first quarter. That one's still in the early stages. UW-Eau Claire is playing host to UW-Step, both teams 3 and 6 overall. At the beginning of the second quarter, UW-Eau Claire holds a 3-0 lead. Got this one live, and you've got the big one later tonight between Oshkosh and Whitewater. Winner of that wins the WIAC. Lewandowski now out of the gun, 4th and 3 from the 4-yard line of Stevens Point. 7-7 is your score. Evan Lewandowski now out of the gun. He'll drop back looking to throw. Heavy pressure coming. Jumps, throws, incomplete. Nice pressure by the Pointers defense, holding their own within their own 5-yard line. It's a turnover on downs with 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Great stop right there. Great play right there by the Pointers defensive line to put the pressure on Lewandowski, and he had nobody to throw to at all. Great coverage by the Pointers secondary in addition to the pressure by the defensive line. So with 10 seconds left in the first quarter and the Pointers backed up on their own 4-yard line, I imagine one running play will just end the quarter right here, Alex.
Yeah, the play choice for this next drive is going to be interesting. Let's see how they started off. Urmanski's in the gun out of their own end zone as he takes the snap. He'll give it to the workhorse Shamaje Williams, who's going to push his way through the pack and get past the 5-yard line as time will expire in the first quarter. Through 1, La Crosse 7, Stevens Point 7. And we will take a timeout along with the teams on the field. This is Stevens Point football on SBTV and the UWSP Athletics Network. Don't go anywhere.
being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Gerke Park in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Alex Strofe alongside Michael Wengen here on SBTV. 7-7 ball game as Matt Hermansky and the Stevens Point offense are at their own 5-yard line here on second down. Hermansky going to throw over the middle, intended for Soki, but incomplete ultimately.
And I think right there I saw the Crosse defenseman get a hand on that one, so that ball was tipped up, but now it's third down from your own 7-yard line. The Pointers got to pick things up right here.
Important to mention, the starting left tackle, Jalen Burks, has been officially ruled out of this game. The senior's career, unfortunate ending. We hope he's all right in the long term. Third down now from their own 7. Hermansky back in his own end zone, looking, throwing deep. Heavy pressure, that's intercepted. Going to be returned to the 10-5. Touchdown, Lacrosse. That is a pick 6 for number 26, Noah Schober. Intercepts Hermansky's pass on third down and says, I'll take this to the house. 13-7 now, Lacrosse. Only 13 seconds into the second quarter.
And Hermansky made a really bad throw on that one. Right, had the backups about 7-8 yards in his own end zone. He was looking for Jonte Webb, tried to make a turnaround, but Webb wasn't looking right there, and Schober just swooped right in, said, I'll take this one to the house, and that's what he does.
About a 36-yard return for Noah Schober as the referees are having a conference.
And this could be interesting right here, Alex.
I don't see a flag.
They're just having a discussion right now at the moment. And it's a touch.
And they are ruling it a touchdown.
But we'll see what the call is.
It is a bench warning. That's what he's signaling. A touchdown nonetheless. Interesting.
So the Crosse able to keep the pick 6, but the officials are telling them to watch out. And the extra point coming up.
So Jeff Linehan is the lead referee. He makes the call on the Stevens Point sideline. A warning following the pick 6 for Lacrosse. So it's 13-7. 14:47 remains in this first half. As Ryan Byrne on to kick the point after for Lacrosse. He will. It's up, and it is good. This game is 14-7 now. Lacrosse lead. As Noah Schober on a pick 6, so not a great start for the Stevens Point offense, Mike.
I wouldn't say that it isn't a great start for them, Alex. They did have a touchdown their first offensive series, but now it kind of seems that they lost the rhythm that they had on that first series. They were kind of, they made a great stop on 4th and 3 against UW Lacrosse's offense as they were trying to instead just go for 6 rather than take the 3 points, but unfortunately, they were backed up in their own end zone, and the Pointers, or Matt Hermansky, making poor decision on that throw. But now Lacrosse just is going to kick it right back to UWSP, and hopefully the Pointers will start out this drive in better field position.
They can restart it Bill Raftery style. Say onions, start this thing fresh. 14:47 remaining in this first half. 14-7 is your score. A lot of 14s going on, Mike. Losing track. Ryan Byrne now to kick this away. Donovan Lucas and Jonah Fryer back to return for Stevens Point. Again, Lucas, 2 return touchdowns on the season, a 2-time Special Teams Player of the Week in the WIAC. Kick is up, end over end, and it'll go straight to Donovan Lucas, who will let it bounce out of the end zone. That is a Stevens Point touchback. So Matt Urmanski looking to rebound after the short break he just took. Last play for the Stevens Point offense was a pick 6. A total of 0 seconds ago on the game clock.
According to the start of the second quarter, the La Crosse Eagles with the pick 6 getting on the board here to start the second quarter. Still a lot of ball game left. The Pointers only down by a score.
Urmanski now out of the gun. He's got 2 receivers left. 1 to the top of your screen, and James Thompson in a tight end position. But he'll hand that off to Jahai Stegall, who's got space up the right sideline. Good for the gain of about 8. Jahai Stegall. And a late flag thrown in there. Late flag.
What a throw by that official.
Yeah,
on the sideline.
that went about 25 feet in the air. That was impressive.
We'll see. The call might be against Stevens Point, but wouldn't toot my horn too early, though.
And Linehan is signaling.
So 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties by the Pointers and the Eagles offset.
So we'll make it 2nd and 1 then for Matt Urmanski and the Pointers offense. A little extracurricular activity. But back to the basics now for the Stevens Point offense, who trails by a touchdown. 14.5 remain here in this first half. Urmanski, snap to the Stegall, who swarmed right as he got the ball. There right away was Ryan Flathers, the defensive lineman.
Stegall swallowed up, and we hadn't really seen any of the Pointers' backfield take any losses like that. But Stegall, again, limited carries so far today.
Urmanski alone in the gun now as he signals Stegall out. He throws over the middle, bobbled, caught, ultimately by Jonte Webb. And that's good for a Pointers first down, a senior-to-senior connection, but heck of a play, heck of an effort by Webb, the Marinette native. The Marines up there in Marinette. Jonte Webb, the senior. Urmanski evaluating here on first down from the 37. 13.5 remains in the first half. Urmanski, lone gun, dropping back, throwing. Stegall overthrew it quite a bit. That'll bring up 2nd down as the Stevens Point offense continues to try to advance this ball immensely.
Joey Bolda, the linebacker, on the coverage of Stegall on that play. Ball was just overthrown by Urmanski, looking towards Stegall along the sideline. Not really much that Urmanski has done on the outside here today so far, but nonetheless, the Pointers still in decent position right now as they are closer to midfield.
Urmanski now dropping back, throwing high, and that is incomplete. Nice throw, but a little shoving after the play. No flags, luckily.
Josh
Krzyzewski, the intended receiver.
And that was a great throw by Urmanski right there. Krzyzewski did have an opportunity to get a hand or two and pull that one in, but again, I think the double coverage right there on the outside by UW La Crosse kept the ball from landing in his hands.
Urmanski now signaling Stegall to join him in the backfield. That's so key now in motion to the top of your screen. Urmanski snap. He'll drop way back, throwing high. He's caught by Stegall, who gets a nice block, but he will be swarmed up immediately after. It was Joey Roth there on the tackle for La Crosse on 3rd down. And that'll bring up 4th down and the punting unit for Stevens Point.
Saw Hermansky right there. The second play in a row that he tried to do a throw across his body. Again, once again looking toward the sideline. Not sure exactly why Hermansky has been trying to throw it across his body, but nonetheless.
Here's the freshman Carter Unger punting this one away. High. Will bounce at the 43, back toward midfield, and that was stopped nicely there as it was tipped in the air by Tyler Ranella. So La Crosse will take over near midfield. They'll be working from our left to our right now here in the second half. 14-7, they hang on to a lead, looking to add on to it.
And that punt right there took a bad bounce back. It bounced the other way, unfortunately, bouncing towards the UW La Crosse side of the field. So the Eagles in decent field position already, as we are only 12 minutes away from the end of the first half.
Lewandowski now takes the snap. He'll fake it to Stutzman. He has plenty of time back there. His pressure now coming. He's hit as he throws. Deep, tipped, and incomplete as O.J. James was there in coverage for Stevens Point. It was intended for Sorensen deep down the field, but Lewandowski had nice blockage, if you will, up front from his offensive line. He had plenty of time to air that one out.
And look, and we saw the Pointers play they played some pretty good zone coverage right there, as they had at least 5 different guys back there in the secondary for UWSP. O.J. James, though, able to get a hand on it and knock that ball away.
So second down now. Lewandowski will give it to Stutzman this time. He's got lots of blockage on the right side up toward midfield as he used the sideline.
And Nevada Labs making a nice tackle right there. So
12 minutes now here in the first half. So it brings up third down just about midfield. What'd you say, Mike, about the 49.5-yard line?
49 on the UW La Crosse side.
Yeah. They need 3 yards for a first down. Let's see if they can do it here on third down. Evan Lewandowski in the gun. It's Stutzman in the backfield next to him. He's got 2 receivers toward the top of your screen, 1 toward the bottom. That's where it'll go. It's his favorite target as it's tipped away. Fellow number 17, Donovan Lucas, in coverage with Speaker, and that'll bring up fourth down. And they will bring out the punting unit at midfield.
It's been a fun matchup to watch today between Cole Speaker and Donovan Lucas. Speaker has beaten Lucas a couple times on the coverage, but Donovan Lucas won that one right there. And the Eagles are punting for the first time today.
And Speaker has been dominant on the rushing side, is what a lot of his plays have come down as the punt is up and away. Donovan Lucas back there. He'll pick it up and be swallowed inside the 5-yard line as he had to last-minute emergency grab that football and just fell to the ground. So the Pointers will take over within their own 6-yard line. It looks like they'll give it a generous marking. And Matt Hermansky and company will go back to work at 11:30 left in the first half.
And the last time the Pointers were in this kind of situation, it resulted in a pick 6. So Hermansky and the rest of the Pointers offense might want to be a little bit more conservative on this drive, ground pound the run game, and then set up the passing game if they can get out of their own end of the end zone.
Hermansky standing on the T and E of Stevens Point in that end zone. And he will hand it off right away. Nice hole there. They'll use it, but then swallowed. Jahai Stegall on the carry.
And there was not much running room right there for Stegall.
Yeah, there was not much space to move as La Crosse stacked the box on that last play. Looks like they'll look to do. They will not this time around as Hermansky's in the gun looking to the sideline for reassurance. Will they throw a run on 2nd and 10 from their own 6-yard line? Hermansky now 10 on the play clock and counting down. Takes the snap, he'll look to throw, dropping back. Thrown to Baldridge, incomplete as that's batted away. Nice coverage by the La Crosse defense. Brings up third down, and the Pointers offense struggling to gain much momentum so far here in the second quarter.
Zach Pierce was the one who knocked that ball away for UW La Crosse, and the Eagles have done a great job right here putting the pressure on the Pointers near their own end zone. The Pointers facing a third down situation from their own 6. And Hermansky has nobody in the backfield, so you can see he'll go through the air on this play.
As Hermansky now drops back, throws, short pass. Is there space to go for Jeffrey Williams? Not much. He's swallowed up after a gain of about 4.
And, yeah, the Pointers are going to be punting near.
Punt. We had a pick 6, punt so far in the second quarter. We're only 4.5 minutes into the second quarter and four possessions so far.
Yeah, and Unger's going to be standing 8 yards back in his own end zone. It's never fun for a punter to be punting that far back.
And it should be noted, Carter Unger, a freshman punter for this team, but he's been pretty darn good all season long. As you mentioned, about 8 yards deep. Good call, Mike, in his own end zone. It's 5 on the play clock. That's where Unger will get it and punt it away. Where will it take its first bounce? It bounces off a lacrosse player. Donovan Lucas jumps on top of it. And that's the 2-time WIAC Special Teams Player of the Week. Back at it again on a special teams play. Donovan Lucas gets it back for Stevens Point, as the referees will talk about it.
And they are signaling it is UWSP football, as the signal was originally
the signal changed there. It was Seth Rourke, the side judge. Originally signaled Stevens Point, lacrosse ball. Now he signals Stevens Point ball. So head referee Jeff Linehan is going to iron out the issues we just had. It is Stevens Point ball.
And
I was going to say, did they not see the play you and I saw?
I
guess
they
originally ruled lacrosse ball. As Hermansky and company will try this again. From the 30-yard line this time around, we'll fake it to Samaje. Time going up top for Jonte Webb, and that is caught. A great play by the seniors. Hermansky and Jonte Webb straight out of the net.
And that's a big play down the field. First play we've seen something like that out of UWSP today. Jonte Webb turned around and he had to go back and get that ball, but he was in some great double coverage by UW Crosse, and Pointers, big play down the field.
Biggest play of the game for either team, about 37-yard connection there between Hermansky and Webb, as he'll go to Webb again, and that is caught for a gain of about 4.
And a late flag comes in.
And Webb is down now.
And that's something that UWSP does not want to see either. That several guys go down today, obviously the biggest one being Jalen Burks, who went down. His day is done, unfortunately, his final game in the UWSP program. Devin Baldridge went down, but he's out there for UWSP. And the man right now that everybody's keeping an eye on, Jonte Webb, as he gets helped up onto his feet by the trainers. He'll run to the sideline in his own power, and that's great to see. But we'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, 39 degrees here in Stevens Point this Saturday afternoon. Not too bad outside, but nonetheless, playing a contact sports in cold weather will bring you to some stuff like that. But nonetheless, it looks like Jonte will be okay. He'll get checked out regardless on the sideline. As the running back switch has been made, Thompson and Shamaje come out. Jeffrey and Stegall check in here on 1st and 10 from the 34.
39 degrees.
Well, actually, they're still talking about the flag. It will be 2nd down on the other side. And the long conference for these officials still going on.
You mentioned, Alex, that's we'll see what the call is here first, but he's waving his flag.
They're going to take it away now. Okay, that was a long conference.
Yeah.
You know, I always wonder what they say when they have that happen, when they retract the flag. I'd just love to be a fly on the wall for one of those conversations. 2 backs set now, 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Hermansky in the gun. Now going to signal Stegall to the left. That's where he looks. Now he's going over the middle. One-handed, couldn't bring it in.
Josh Shizeski.
Shizeski couldn't reel it in. It was thrown a little bit behind him. He tried to finagle the one-handed snag, but couldn't quite do it. Brings up 3rd and 5, 9-13 in the first half now.
You know, you mentioned it, Alex, before we waited to see what the call was. It's 39 degrees outside. It's like 70 degrees in here. It's nice and toasty.
We'll see what they scheme up here, as Hermansky hasn't quite used his feet yet in today's game, something we see him do quite often. We'll see if they utilize the QB draw here on 3rd and 5. Here's the snap, dropping back. They won't. He's moving left, and he's taken down. Hermansky is sacked by a pair of La Crosse Eagles, but it looked like Zachary Zilmer was there to make the ultimate contact. A big loss on 3rd down brings up a deep 4th down, and the punting unit, we assume. Jonte Webb back in the game, which is good to see.
The Pointers offense
staying
on
out.
the field.
They're past midfield.
It's
a long 4th down.
This is a
4th down. They've got to go all the way to Plover.
So, yeah, big conversion right here. This could change things for the Pointers.
So 4th and 13 from the 37. Hermansky dropping back, going up top to Webb. Caught again inside the 15-yard line. Jonte Webb. The connection from Hermansky to Webb pays off. Huge on a long 4th down play. And now inside the La Crosse red zone.
Right around the 8-minute mark here in the 2nd quarter. Pointers offense continuing to move down the field as well. They've done a great job so far just keeping the ball in their own hands.
A gutsy call by Greg Breitbach and company here in game number 10 pays off dividends on 4th and 13. Now in the La Crosse red zone. Hermansky dropping back once again. 5-man rush. Over the middle, picked off. And he's got nothing but time and space using the sideline. Hermansky pushes him out of bounds, but the interception made by Peter Kissling. The 2nd interception of this quarter for Matt Hermansky.
And he was once again, they were looking towards Jonte Webb right there in the end zone, and Hermansky, has the right to be upset. You know, that's his 2nd interception today, and it was a big conversion that they made there on 4th down, and all of a sudden that goes for naught as the Pointers throw their 2nd interception today. Hermansky specifically throws his 2nd interception today.
Man, oh man. Still a lot of football left to be played, but you don't love the missed opportunity there for the Stevens Point offense. It's Speaker in motion. Lewandowski pressure will give it to Speaker, who's behind the line of scrimmage, but he'll make that work for a gain of about 5 up to the 36-yard line.
Speaker was wide open there on the outside. I can't imagine the Pointers defense leaving a man like Speaker out there who's been so versatile on the ground today, both receiving and running the ball. And we are now halfway through the 2nd quarter.
Yep, 7 minutes on the dot remain as Lewandowski and company get set up. Both receivers to the bottom of your screen, and this will be a handoff. Up the middle now, Stutzman just short of the 1st down. A nice carry there, as there was a cluster of each team involved there. But it'll be about 3rd and 1 now for the La Crosse offense as we're under the 7-minute mark here in the 2nd quarter.
Interesting note, Alex. Both these teams today have a couple turnovers now, and while the Eagles have benefited from a pick 6, it hasn't benefited the Pointers as much with the interception they had earlier and the fumble recovery as well.
So here we go. Lewandowski on 3rd down. We'll give it to Stutzman, who's got a nice block. He's over the 40-yard line in the 1st down, but a pile just past the marker, and they will give it to him. Make it 1st down now from the 41. For La Crosse, trying to add on to their 7-point lead here as we tick down in the 2nd quarter, about the 6-minute mark now. Stevens Point will receive the 2nd half kickoff, so La Crosse looking to expand this lead as much as they can.
And they're going to try and take off as much time off the clock as they can, too, as they want to keep the Pointers offense off the field and get another score, make it a 2-score game.
Lewandowski again handed off. This time it's Clark who bounces left. Good for a gain of about 4 there on 1st down. Stutzman gets a breather, but he'll come back in as Clark will go back to the sideline after the gain of 4.
And
Stutzman only 5'7", 175 pounds, but man, can that guy run. He's got the speed of J.D. McKissick. Lewandowski grabs that with one hand and hands it off. Well done by Lewandowski, handles the poor snap. He did that all in one motion, a one-handed snag, and handed it to Stutzman, who took it up the sideline. And never seen that before.
Well, Lewandowski, he's very heads up here on the UW lacrosse side. Even if that went past his hands, that could have gone very badly for UW lacrosse, and the Pointers could have possibly run it down and picked it up. But Lewandowski heads up.
Under the 5-minute mark now in the first half of action in this season finale for each team. Here's the snap to Lewandowski on 3rd down, who rolls right, throws deep, and that is caught to Sorensen up the sideline. And they will rule it a reception. A beautiful throw by Evan Lewandowski and a nice track by Cam Sorensen there at the sideline. Tiptoed that one to keep this drive alive for the Eagles.
Lewandowski put that ball where no one but Sorensen could get it himself. Crossing route, Jawan Downing was not really much of a factor on that play. And Sorensen, nice catch.
So a fresh set of downs now from the 35 of Stevens Point. Lewandowski will take it himself up the middle, a QB draw as he eludes a defender and might get another fresh set of downs. And he will. A nice carry by Evan Lewandowski up to the 25-yard line of Stevens Point.
When it helps to have a great backfield with Stutzman as your leading ball carrier, but Lewandowski also contributes to the running attack with that carry as well. He does have a few rushes today. He actually had 19 yards rushing in the first quarter and adds on a few more.
There's a snap to Lewandowski, who rolls right, fakes the handoff, pressure coming in. He's hit as he throws, but that is caught up the sideline, up to about the 5-yard line. Caught by Zach McManus, the junior tight end from up the road in Marshfield, and he's pushed out of bounds right at the 3.5-minute mark. Nice play by the offense of La Crosse.
Pointers defense looking kind of gassed out there. They've been on the field now for a good 4 or 5 minutes here as the second quarter continues to tick away. And La Crosse now 1st and goal.
From the 5-yard line, Lewandowski loses the ball. He just jumps on top of it to end the play. Bad snap there on 1st and goal, and this clock will continue to run.
So Lewandowski able to catch that earlier snap with one hand, but loses that one. Able to get back on the ball, though, but that'll lose him 5 yards and make it 2nd and goal from the 9.
And the clock continues to tick at the 2.5-minute mark now. Play clock at 10. Lewandowski out of the gun. 2 receivers to the top of your screen, 1 toward the bottom, and Stutzman in the gun with him. Lewandowski keeps it rolling, throwing to the end zone, incomplete. It was intended for Sorensen in the left corner of the end zone, but it was thrown low as the pocket was collapsing on Lewandowski. Brings up 3rd down and goal now. Ball all the way back to the 9-yard line, and 2 minutes and 20 seconds remain in this first half. La Crosse looking to add on to that lead. I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead.
When we see Lewandowski scramble like that, the Pointers can't leave anybody open. They got lucky right there because the ball was just underthrown to Sorensen, but that doesn't mean that they can't, at the same time, cover out in the flat.
Play clock down to 3 seconds as Lewandowski takes the snap. He's got time. He's going to throw this one to his favorite target, but again, it's thrown low and outside. It was Speaker and Donovan Lucas in coverage for the Dogs. Brings up 4th down, 9 to go. What decision do the Eagles make now?
Well, we see a few guys coming in now.
See several switches, but Lewandowski stays out.
So Mike Schmidt.
Lewandowski is the holder, though, as well. And they did send out Ryan Burns, so they're going to look to add 3 here.
They'll take the points right here, try to take the points.
Extend this lead to 10 points if they can capitalize. 2 minutes, 15 seconds is where the clock is stopped. Snap to Lewandowski, holds down, Burns kick up, and good. This game is 17-7 as Lewandowski drives his team down the field, and his kicker, Ryan Burns, gives the Eagles a 10-point lead. This is Stevens Point football on SB TV.
You can't go and work for a software company that's quite like this.
With programming, you see this concept become a reality, and I think that's really rewarding.
When people first come in, they immediately realize they are a part of the family.
They really care that people are happy here.
You're going to find that you're going to get up in the morning and you're going to look forward to coming to work.
We've got a core of individuals that are going to reach a lot of new heights.
We're growing fast and always hiring. Apply today at skyward.com/careers.
Ryan Burns sweeps the leg and adds 3 more points to this Eagles lead as the La Crosse Eagles are on top of the Stevens Point Pointers, 17-7, as we are close to the end of this first half. 2 minutes and 12 seconds to work with, so it will be the 2-minute drill for Greg Breitbach's offense. Matt Ermansky and company, who've staggered here in the second quarter, scoreless in the quarter, and look to pull within the 10. They are down. The kick is up and away. It will go out of bounds, so the flag will fly in the area of Donovan Lucas.
And the Pointers are going to be in good field position here to start out this 2-minute drill.
They have 132 seconds to work with. Quick math.
Did that right off the top of your head, didn't you?
Look at me. It's 3rd grade math all over again. Mrs. Ross would be so proud of me.
Well, I was never really, I never took probs and stats, but I don't think that you need to really use probs and stats for that kind of quick thinking in your head.
Who was your favorite math teacher?
Honestly, my favorite math teacher in high school was, his name was Mr. Geyser, Mr. Geezer, he would call himself. Freshman year, Algebra 2. Shout out to Mr. Geyser.
I got to give a shout out to my favorite math teacher. It's Teacher Appreciation Game. So we'll give a shout out to Mr. Rick Dinney, my favorite high school teacher. Now Ermansky out of the gun. 2 backs to each side, 2 receivers to each side. It will be a handoff to Jeffrey Williams, the freshman, who cuts and weaves and is still on his feet, bouncing off defenders like a pinball machine up toward the 40-yard line.
So now we're finally seeing the Pointers go back to the run game, and they can't really waste too much time with it because they do have all 3 timeouts, though, so they can stop the clock that way. But
1:45
yeah,
left in this first half. Ermansky now from the pistol formation. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Now Webb in motion toward the top. It's Baldridge at the bottom. Shamaje Williams is the back. That's where it'll go. And he finds a hole, still on his feet past midfield. And he will fall up toward roughly the 47. And that is where they'll mark it. As the sticks move, the Pointers moving quickly as we're under 90 seconds in this first half. Ermansky clapping his hands, wants the ball, he'll get it. Back to Williams, who just had the nice carry, but he's tripped up short this time. A gain of about 2 up to the 45, maybe 44-yard line, and depending how generous that crew wants to be. And Stevens Point will take their first timeout.
So
1:12. They've run exactly a minute off this clock.
Yeah, the great stuff there, too, by Shamaje Williams. Nice carry right there. And Pointers having the benefit of having all 3, well, now 2 timeouts remaining here. Just over a minute left in the second quarter. And they're right past midfield. If they can at least drive in the field goal range and get some points on the board before halftime, that'll help them out as they receive the second half kickoff.
Looking to capitalize on the opportunity. Driving well thus far is Stevens Point offense. Thanks in a huge part to Shamaje Williams, who's been crucial so far early in this drive. A couple big carries.
We've seen the trio backfield, Jahai Segal, Shamaje Williams, Jeffrey Williams, all have a few decent carries so far in this game, but the run game for Stevens Point in that first quarter didn't look so great as they only had 23 yards rushing, but I can imagine now that their numbers are much higher than that. UW La Crosse, though, still continuing to pound the ball on the ground and even through the air as well.
Elsewhere in the WIAC, UW Stout has come back, put up 21 unanswered. They're now up 21-3 on UW Clare, and UW Platteville up 21-14 over UW River Falls. Here's the second down snap now to Hermansky, who drops back, looking, eluding, rolling right, flag flies, free play. That one will go out of bounds. Likely either a holding on Stevens Point.
Yeah, and Hermansky.
More than likely is what we'll see.
It looks like a holding call signaled by the referee.
And here's Linehan, the lead referee today. It's the privilege of wearing the white hat. And he will call a hold on the Pointers.
And that pushes the Pointers back across midfield. And it's 1:05 left on the on the game clock, excuse me. And it's
2nd and 18 now. So we're flying to Plover again. But last time I said that, they capitalized. Let's see if they can do that again here on 2nd down. 65 seconds left in the first half. Trailing by 10. Hermansky now to Williams, who cuts back left. He's got space. His ankle was picked, stayed on his feet up past midfield. So now the Pointers continue to roll offensively under a minute.
Pointers only made it to as far as Park Ridge on that carry, but they got to get a play right here as the clock.
45 and running. Hermansky sets it up, sends his receivers into position, and he'll take the snap. Waiting on it still. Now we'll talk to his offensive line as now we're under 35 seconds. Still 2 timeouts remaining for this Pointers team, but now under 30. 28 and counting.
And they got to get a play
clock
there.
at 5 now. As Hermansky's waiting, now he will take it rolling back. He is going to elude pressure and let it fly over the middle, and that is dropped, then caught. It's Krzyzewski who has been making quite the impact in this one. His first real playing time all season, Josh Krzyzewski.
Nice catch right there by Krzyzewski, and gives the Pointers a first down, but only 15 seconds left on the play clock. They wasted quite a bit waiting for the snap on that last play. They're on their own, or they're on the, UW La Crosse 33-yard line. So at the very least, they want to try and give some better field position for Victor Ponterio, but it would be nice to get 6 on the board.
Josh Krzyzewski had 6 catches on the season coming into today. He's got 2 today and 4 targets today. So he's been busy on the offensive end, has Josh Krzyzewski, trying to find his role as this season winds down. This is the season finale for both of these teams. La Crosse enters today 6-3, 4th place in the WIAC. Stevens Point just behind him in 5th place in the WIAC, 3-6 overall.
And the Pointers are looking to finish the season off 4-6 overall. That's where they finished last year.
So Hermansky again set up in the gun per usual. It's Jeffrey Williams, the feature back on first down. He'll turn into a blocker, now going to run a route. That's where it'll go. Williams caught inside the 25, and that's where he will be taken down about the 26. They'll mark it at the 25.
And the Pointers are
all the way up to the 24 is where they'll mark it.
And they're going to take their final timeout
with 7 seconds on the clock. And they will send out Victor Ponterio. So this will be a 41-yard attempt, Mike. As mentioned, Ponterio 4 of 9. He had an attempt earlier that was muffed, so doesn't go down as an attempt. So 4 of 9 still on the year. This will be his 10th official attempt, assuming history does not repeat itself. Here with 7 seconds left in the first half, looking to make this a one-possession game. Stevens Point will receive the second half kickoff. So this is still very much a ball game, folks. And now they're making the switch. Greg Breitbach just took Ponterio off. Hermansky stays out as he is the holder, but also the quarterback. And the offense will stay out with 7 seconds and no timeouts. I have never seen that before.
A little bit of aggressive play call right there by Breitbach. I mean,
he was trying to catch the cross off guard, right? They had the special teams unit out as well, and then he pulled his special teams unit, threw a couple of his offensive starters out, and here they go. 18 on the play clock, 7 on the game clock, 10-point game, and a timeout used by La Crosse now. Their final first half timeout. The confusion, just like Disturbed said one time, this is the land of confusion.
Is that from one of your favorite songs?
I don't know if it's one of my favorite songs, but it is a song. Yes.
You know, speaking of songs, you didn't know about the electric slide earlier today.
I didn't. No, I'm not. I was greatly informed on the electric slide by our companions from La Crosse doing TV here in Stevens Point today. They taught me the electric slide. No idea what the heck it is, but it was something. Add it to my dancing repertoire.
Yeah, and now the next time you go out to a party or go out to a wedding, you gotta show people how to do the electric slide, right?
Break that out at the next wedding I attend. Yes.
Hopefully we can do a little electric slide here if the Pointers can score some points.
So with 7 seconds left in this game, or excuse me, in this first half, Eagles lead 17-7. Matt Urmanski. Pointers will look to score one final play. They have 4 receivers out there, 3 to Urmanski's left, 1 to his right at the top of the screen. And the ball was never snapped.
I wouldn't say that's everybody but the center.
Exactly. As one of the greatest college football referee calls of all time a couple of years back, false start, everybody but the center. And that's roughly what that was. So that'll back them up to the now 29-yard line. So it would be a 46-yard attempt. They're going to stick with the offense from this point. And this is a deep prevent defense. Look at that scatter. Only 2 men rushing as Urmanski's going to have all day to air this out. And he will throw it out of bounds. 1 second on the clock, though. So they will have another opportunity.
And here comes Victor Ponterio out, and they are going to try the 46-yard field goal.
Interesting.
It's a long kick.
It is indeed a long kick, but we'll see what Ponterio can do. As mentioned, 4 of 9 on the season. His long is 47.
This to make it a...
And this will also be 47. As Urmanski set up at the 37-yard line, you add 10 yards because of the end zone, and you've got 47. That's his long this season. Let's see if he can match it. With 1 second on the game clock. Kick is up.
And it's short.
And it is not going to have the distance. So as we go into halftime, the Eagles will hang on to their 17-7 lead. The Pointers will receive in the second half. Still a ball game. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back to recap what went down, preview what's ahead, and do a quick look around the WIAC. That's Michael Wengen. I'm Alex Strofe. This is Pointers Football on SPTV and the UWSP Athletics Network. Don't go anywhere.
Quiet on set.
We'll be back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take Ben.
Live at SPTV, mic check, audio check, news directors adjusting the sound, teleprompter running smoothly, floor director, alert, cameras are rolling, bring in the talent, where's the makeup artist, anchors ready for the news. Are you ready to join SPTV? That's a wrap, lights out.
UW Stevens Point is home.
It's a university where professors know your name and get you involved in research.
They inspire us to realize big dreams.
At UW Stevens Point, sustainability is what we stand for.
Our beautiful campus encourages exploration, developing new fields, and problem solving for the real world.
It's a great place to launch your career.
UW Stevens Point is home.
Apply today at uwsp.edu.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
When you're in college, you kind of find out who you are. And throughout your 4 years, you develop yourself with all the different experiences, which leads into dedicating yourself to your community, to your family. So when you're a senior, you're coming out a well-rounded person.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests outside of the classroom and outside of the court or field. I've had the ability to get into different activities and organizations, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
Getting to be involved in a lot of different things, ranging from obviously being a student athlete to getting involved with my campus and my community, and not only being allowed to do that, but being encouraged to do that.
The opportunity to be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, to have the professors know me on a personal level, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference. It really helps you develop thinking from other people's perspectives and looking at problems from outside the box.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
I've definitely learned how to really be myself. I found out, yes, I am actually a good leader, and yes, I can actually put myself forward because I am good enough. I can do it.
Coming in to college, I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of different career goals, and I've learned so much about myself that I was always like growing and changing.
When I got to college, it forced me to step up and become more of a leader, and I think that was something I had the capability of doing, and forever grateful that being at a Division III school gave me that opportunity.
You have to dedicate your time in the classroom, you have to dedicate your time in the gym, on the field, on the court.
Our coaches and the entirety of the athletic department, they valued the student athlete going out into community and trying something new and getting involved in campus life.
You can get involved in so many different things. So the possibilities are truly limitless for what you can do with your college experience. You can kind of make it your own in the Division III setting. So I would encourage people who want to have flexibility to pursue different interests and passions to go D3.
Media Studies is a program for people who love to tell stories, whether that be in written form, visual, or audio.
Media Studies is exciting because it's always fresh, it's always new.
Media is at the center of everything we do. More and more people are asked to engage with media and use media. Our program really provides students with skills and techniques to be better prepared for that in the future.
We offer courses in media production, both video and audio, nonfiction and fiction, music production, journalism, film studies.
Media Studies is a great way to get hands-on experience in the field that you're looking you to do. They teach you the basic concept behind everything, and then they tell you to go do it.
We really pride ourselves on thinking of a wide set of opportunities that we can give our students.
The student organizations are a great asset. We have SPTV, the student television organization, 90 FM, the radio, and The Pointer, our student-run newspaper.
It's a great way for students to get involved, learn skills that they need for class, and meet new people.
Some great facilities where our students can hone their skills.
There's a giant studio in the center of the comm building. I've had quite a few classes in there.
A lot of our classes are very hands-on, they're very interpersonal.
You're getting the skills that will allow you to create your future, and I think that's what makes it a truly amazing experience for students.
There's an incredible range of options for graduates. We've had students go out and become independent contractors, work for radio stations, newspapers, with TV stations.
Everyone is different, and they have their own unique style. In all the classes and all the student organizations you get involved in, you have a lot of flexibility to really create your own work and do it in a way that means something to you.
We're excited to see what students are making and what they want to make, and how we can help students get from where they are to where they want to be.
I'm in a video production class that's teaching me how to film documentaries. I'm also in a screenwriting class, and I get to learn how to write movies. So I'm doing all these different cool things, and I love it every day.
This UWSP Sports broadcast is brought to you by SPTV. Let's make media together.
You can't go and work for a software company that's quite like this.
With programming, you see this concept become a reality, and I think that's really rewarding.
When people first come in, they immediately realize they are a part of a family.
They really care that people are happy here.
You're going to find that you're going to get up in the morning and you're going to look forward to coming to work.
We've got a core of individuals that are going to reach a lot of new heights.
We're growing fast and always hiring. Apply today at skyward.com/careers.
Quiet on set.
We'll be back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take Ben.
Live at SPTV, mic check, audio check, news directors adjusting the sound, teleprompter running smoothly. Floor director, alert! Cameras are rolling, bring in the talent. Where's the makeup artist? Anchors ready for the news. Are you ready to join SPTV? That's a wrap, lights out.
UW-Stevens Point is home.
It's a university where professors know your name and get you involved in research.
They inspire us to realize big dreams.
At UW-Stevens Point, sustainability is what we stand for.
Our beautiful campus encourages exploration, developing new fields, and problem solving for the real world.
It's a great place to launch your career.
UW-Stevens Point is home.
Apply today at uwsp.edu.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
We welcome you back to Gerke Park in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Halftime in this season finale for each of these squads. La Crosse 17, Stevens Point 7. Alex Strofe alongside Michael Wengen for this one. Mike, so far it's been pretty much all Eagles.
The Eagles have controlled this game pretty much from the get-go. They started out very well on their first drive, and while Stevens Point did respond with the touchdown of their own on their first series, the favor has been with La Crosse so far, 17-7 lead for the Eagles. UWSP having a few chances to get points on the board, but also been kept in check by this UW La Crosse defense.
Yeah, it seems like momentum has swung quite a bit throughout this game. Right when you thought Stevens Point had momentum on their side, a pick six is thrown. So it's been an interesting dynamic throughout the game. 2 turnovers for each team, interceptions both for Stevens Point's turnovers, and fumbles for both of UW La Crosse's. How did we get to 17-7, Mike? Well, why don't I tell you? It started off early. It was Joey Stutzman, 9 yards, touchdown, rushing, 7-0 off the extra point. Stevens Point responded about 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter with a Ermansky to James Thompson 16-yard hookup, make it 7-7. Noah Schober picked off Matt Ermansky on the second play of the second quarter for a pick six, make it 14-7. And then a field goal off the leg of Ryan Byrne made it 17-7 late in the second quarter. So a 10-point game as we enter the second half. Stevens Point will receive the second half kickoff, which is a positive, of course, trailing by 10 points. Now, what adjustments need to be made offensively and defensively for these Pointers, Mike, to succeed and win this game here in the last 30 minutes?
Offensively, it's been tough because Ermansky has been getting a few targets. Jonte Webb is his biggest one so far in the day. 4 catches for 68 yards, while Josh Zazeski's also had a couple grabs, 2 for 36 yards. The biggest thing for Ermansky is to find guys down the field that he can throw to. He's had a lot of situations where he's been under some serious pressure, haven't been able to find anybody open, and the receiving core for UWSP has gotten open on only several occasions. So getting open and making those catches is always a big part about playing offense. Defensively, they just got to contain that run game for UW La Crosse. Of course, Joey Stutzman leading the way, 59 yards on the ground so far today and a touchdown. Cole Speaker as well, the wide receiver, with 39 yards on the ground as well, alongside 29 yards receiving through the air. And Evan Lewandowski even has had some yards on the ground, as he has 29 on the day. So, again, trying to contain that UW La Crosse running attack is probably a big key for UW Stevens Point on defense.
Yeah, a total of 131 rushing yards, as mentioned, for UW La Crosse in that first half. They won the ground battle, but the air battle belongs to Stevens Point. Matt Ermansky in the first half, 13 of 25 for 156 yards, 1 touchdown, and, of course, the 2 interceptions, as mentioned earlier. Let's take a trip around the WIAC here while we have a second. Halftime in Eau Claire. UW Stout leads 21-3. They've scored 21 unanswered in that ball game. We go north now to River Falls with the 1-8 Falcons. They are trailing 24-21 at halftime. A good game between the 7-2 Pioneers and the 1-8 Falcons, who are hanging right in there. Again, 24-21 in that one. And then, of course, in the game you're watching, 17-7, UW La Crosse leads. And there's one game tonight. That's the big one. It was flexed to a 6 p.m. Central Standard start time in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, as UW Oshkosh will play host to number 3 UW Whitewater. The winner of that game, Mike, wins the WIAC. So a big implication game later in the WIAC. UW Whitewater takes on UW Oshkosh in Oshkosh. Now, in other Stevens Point news, we've got 2 teams that are currently dancing the tournament dance, if you will. The UW Stevens Point volleyball team currently in the Sweet 16. They play tonight against St. Benedict. They've won the last 2 nights. Last night, sweeping the host team, number 12 ranked St. Thomas of Minnesota, a 3-0 win over them yesterday for the Lady Dogs. Tonight they take on St. Benedict. They win that one. They head to the Elite Eight in Iowa next weekend. So about a 4-hour drive from Stevens Point if you want to travel with the band if they win over St. Benedict tonight. Good luck to the ladies as they look to punch their ticket to the Elite Eight. In soccer news, the women's soccer team led by head coach Dawn Crowe is in their first NCAA tournament since 2010. They're in action right now in the second half. The time is dwindling down, but we are scoreless between UW Stevens Point and Adrian. Good luck to the Lady Dogs. They're playing out in St. Louis, Missouri this afternoon. We will keep you posted on that game as soon as it goes final, assuming we are still hanging out with you on this broadcast. So, Mike, that was a lot of information we just got through.
It's a lot of information that you threw right there, Alex. But you know what? It's an exciting time for UWSP athletics. We got 2 teams, the volleyball and soccer program, playing in the big dance. UWSP volleyball, of course, receiving the automatic bid from winning the WIAC championship against UW Whitewater last week. And UW soccer, although falling to UW La Crosse, actually, in their semifinal game, receiving that at-large bid, and currently right now in a tough one against Adrian College. So the Pointers here, down by 10 points here on Senior Day, but still not out of it as we got a whole another half of football yet to be played, and the Pointers are going to receive the second half kickoff as the final minute of this halftime ticks away.
Again, looking at the numbers, Matt Hermansky, 13 of 25 for 156 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions in that first half. He was the leading passer. Your leading rusher in the first half was, surprise, surprise, Joey Stutzman. 9 carries, 59 yards, and a score. And receiving, it was Jonte Webb for Stevens Point. 4 catches for 68 yards. The senior from Marinette, Wisconsin, going bananas in his farewell game. 17-7 is your score, but as mentioned, the Pointers do receive the second half kickoff. They'll look to knock into this lead early and often as they trail by 2 possessions.
Yeah, and there's probably, the final 30 minutes for these seniors in the program as well. And, of course, we mentioned this earlier. In the first half, one senior in particular, Jalen Burks, went down with an injury. He unfortunately will not finish the game out, so his career ends on Senior Day, but not the way that he wanted it, and not the way that any of us would have wanted him to end it. And the 2 teams
are switching sides. They had it backwards. Yeah. You do work from right to left here, Stevens Point. Good memory. As Donovan Lucas was leading the charge, you saw that on your screen as Donovan Lucas just started running to the other side. Where Ryan Byrne was setting up. And now they're switching again.
Back.
I have never seen anything like this. They're switching again. What is going on?
This is like if you ever seen the movie Alice in Wonderland, when they drink the tea, when they switch places, they get cleaner cups. So this is kind of something like that. They don't get anything. It's not anything with like drinking tea or anything, but I have never seen anything like this. I guess if there were one game to see it would be the season finale.
No doubt about it. As Ryan Byrne thinks he's in the right spot now. As Donovan Lucas was the first one down the other side of the field. Now he's the last one back. He stands at about the Stevens Point. Well, he's still backpedaling. 10, 9, 10-yard line. And he'll be back to return this one for the Dogs. The 2-time special teams player of the week in the WIAC. Had a fumble recovery on special teams today, did Donovan Lucas. So he's looking to throw his name back in rotation for Special Team Player of the Week here in the final week.
I just hope the Pointers are ready to go and know where they're supposed to be as we get start the second half.
So Parker is going to kick this one away for the Eagles. It's up and back and over in. A nice kick by Parker. His first kickoff of the game, but it will go out of bounds, so the flag will fly at about the 2-yard line. Nice patience shown by Donovan Lucas, who let that thing roll out. That's the second time this has happened to La Crosse, so it will give the Stevens Point great field position to start this second half.
Yeah, and it's again, that's why Lucas has been such a great player on special teams. He's heads up about how to handle the play, and as we mentioned earlier too, he had a couple of punt returns and kickoff returns for touchdowns this year. So Lucas letting the ball drop out of bounds.
So right in front of us, the 35-yard line is where the Dogs will start things off. Here in the second half, they trail by 10, but they're looking to cut into this La Crosse lead. They'll start it by Ermansky being in the shotgun, joined by Shamaje Williams. Second half underway officially as Shamaje Williams receives a pitch, and he's going to take it. Uses the block for a little bit of a gain. Leading the charge there was Burkhauser, number 64, the starting right guard for this team. Brandon Burkhauser, a junior from down the road in Wisconsin Rapids, the starting right guard for these Pointers. He had a nice block on that gain of 5. Now 2nd and 5 from the 40-yard line. Already approaching midfield are the Pointers offense. Only 30 seconds into this second half. 2 receivers to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. We go to Krzyzewski, and that'll be overthrown from Ermansky by about 10 yards.
I don't think Krzyzewski and Ermansky were on the same page right there. Something about Ermansky trying to go towards Krzyzewski today.
Gravitating toward that connection is Ermansky quite heavily today. As mentioned, Krzyzewski entered this game with 6 receptions on the entirety of the season, 9 games. Today he's got 2 and 5 targets. Ermansky out of the pistol. Shamaje Williams behind him. That's where he'll go. Williams will use the B gap up the middle. Big hole! Now he's running, still on his feet. 40, 35, 30, cutting left, 25, and he's tripped up at the 20-yard line. Shamaje Williams from point A to point B, just like that.
Man, that almost puts you out of your seat, Alex. I could see you trying to stand up. I thought, man, if he took that one in the house.
He's a quick man.
He is. Finally, a big carry from the ground attack. Shamaje Williams with the biggest run in the game so far today as he checks out now and Jahai Stegall goes back in. But Shamaje Williams, that had to be about a 50-yard run down the field.
Definitely the largest play of the game for either side. Unfortunately, an injured Eagle to report. It's linebacker Zach Pierce needing assistance to get off the field. We hope he's all right and can return. Now back on the other side. Now in the red zone of La Crosse. Matt Ermansky out of the gun. And they're going to change things up as 3 receivers will be at the bottom of your screen. Baldridge, Webb, and Thompson. Ermansky out of the gun. Pressure coming. Lets it go. Stegall is there. He'll come outside. Inside the 10-yard line is Stegall.
And
nice dish by Ermansky, but flag is down.
And it probably might be against Stevens Point, and it is.
And they will back it up as Thompson will check out. Jeffrey Williams will check in for the Pointers.
So a holding call hurts the Pointers on that reception by Stegall.
Yeah, that makes it 1st and 20 rather than 1st and goal, as that reception will be retracted. Redacted, rather.
Dig a little deep in the playbook for this one.
Stegall and Jeffrey Williams, the backs, in the gun with Ermansky. 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen. That's Webb and Baldridge. Krzyzewski back in the game at the top of your screen. Ermansky waits for the snap, and he'll give it up right away. It's Jeffrey Williams, who's still weaving his way, stays on his feet, and is found in a cluster of players.
The classic draw play. Probably the approach you want to just go with on a long 1st down like that one. And Jeffrey Williams making a nice cut inside, though.
Williams, a freshman from Broadhead at 5'7". Confirm the play call, and here's Ermansky. He will look to pass, but heavy pressure coming. He'll air it out deep, and that was an overthrow of Jeffrey Williams, almost picked off. As leisurely making his way over there was Elijah Alt.
Yeah, not a great read outside there again by Hermansky. And, excuse me, Alt, not, unfortunately, the one that he was the only one that was closest to making the reception right there, but that would have been Hermansky's third interception if that did occur.
17-7 still your score. 12.5 remain here in this third quarter. Now on third down, the Pointers are looking to capitalize. Hermansky takes the snap. 5-man rush. He's going to have to throw quickly, and he does. Releases over the middle, intended for Webb, but incomplete as Hermansky driven to the ground there as he threw again. He's been taking some hits. Heavy pressure has Hermansky. The La Crosse defense doing a great job of getting to the quarterback so far in this game. About 33 minutes into this one.
And here comes Victor Ponterio for the third time today.
First one was a muffed snap. Second one was a miss of 47. So now 4 of 10 on the year is Victor Ponterio. Looking to bring that ratio up a little bit. Here is 11th attempt of the season, assuming all goes well. Roughly 44 yards for this one. The hold's down, the kick's up, and it is good this time around. That makes it a 7-point game. Victor Ponterio aces it from 44 yards. One possession game now, Mike. This changes things.
It does, but we're only 3 minutes into the third quarter right now. So, like La Crosse, they had the momentum going in the halftime, and I can't imagine that they are going to change too much from their original game plan at the beginning of the game. I imagine the running attack will still be a factor out there for UWL on offense, and of course the Pointers have got to keep a closer eye on Lewandowski as well as Cole Speaker. He's been getting anything he can from Lewandowski. Those two have been very good together, and so far today, the Pointers, not much answers for either man.
So Ponterio will set this one up on the tee. 12:23 remains in the third quarter. 17-10 now your score. It's a one-possession game, so Stevens Point capitalizes on their opening drive. Simonchek is back to return for the Eagles as Ponterio raises the hand. Signal is he is ready. The leg is swept. The ball turning end over end. Simonchek will recover this one and take it out of the end zone. Up the middle looking for blocks. He sheds a tackle, but his ankle was held onto. He's taken down short of the 20-yard line. Nice play by the Stevens Point special teams, able to contain Jake Simonchek.
Yeah, and it looks like Simonchek could have just easily just knelt it down in the end zone for a touchback, but instead tried to work off a little bit of special teams magic. We've seen him do that earlier today, but only gets out to the 20-yard line. Would have had an extra 5 yards if he took the touchback.
So 1st and 10 now for Lewandowski, who gives it off. It's Stutzman yet again up the middle, and he's dragged up. Felix King in there again for the Pointers. He's been all over the football field this afternoon.
And the Pointers defense now back out on the field for the first time today. Well, first time this second half, excuse me. And now it's all the focus on getting the UWL off the field.
La Crosse now from the gun. Snap to Lewandowski. Give it to Speaker. The same old play they like to run, using the sideline, weaving, cutting, reaching forward. Just short of the first down. It looked from my angle. Let's see what the referees say.
And they're going to move
the chains. They are going to move the chains indeed. They have a better angle, and they wear stripes for a reason. I wear a headset. So they get the call on that one. Make it first down now, fresh set of downs for the Eagles, who lead by a touchdown. Two receivers to the bottom of your screen now for Lewandowski, who is going to drop back to pass. He's got his target. That's Speaker. Sheds Donovan Lucas, but Lucas able to pick the ankle just over the 30-yard line.
Nice job right there by Donovan Lucas to get just enough around the leg of Speaker. If Lucas just got a hand on him and didn't bring him down, Speaker was looking at a tiptoe along the sideline and possibly off to the races.
Lewandowski now, the sophomore quarterback, looking to add on to the lead. Second down out of the gun. Give it off to Stutzman, who's got a nice hole, using his blocks wisely, cutting, shedding, and good for a first down before finally being taken down by Allen Jones III, the senior defensive lineman.
Stutzman again, another carry on the inside. And Stutzman has been quite effective if he gets enough of a hole from the offensive line for UW La Crosse.
First and 10 from the 43, ticking at about 10 minutes remaining in this third quarter. As Lewandowski out of the pistol now. Gives it to Stutzman once again, who's got a nice hole once again. Up the middle, 40, 30, 20. Nobody's going to catch him, or will they? Dragged down inside the 10. O.J. James tracked him down.
And James, oh man, Stutzman. And James is down. He was the man to chase down Stutzman, keep UW off the board from at least the time being. But yeah, with the Pointers, unfortunately, have another man go down here, and O.J. James being attended to quickly by the medical staff.
And he looked like he was in pain, so we will take a step away. We hope everything's okay with James. This is Stevens Point Football on SBTV.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
O.J. James being helped off the field by the medical staff under his own power, which is good to see. We hope the best for him. 10 minutes on the dot now in this third quarter, as UW La Crosse just had a ginormous gain thanks to the legs of Joey Stutzman, who is a freak of an athlete, only at 5'7", 175, but the guy can fly. And he just proved that on that ginormous carry. Stutzman now up to 72 yards on the afternoon. Lewandowski now the snap, rolling right, throwing, caught, touchdown, La Crosse. It's Jake Simonchek for the Eagles as they tack on 6 more, 23-10. A nice connection from Evan Lewandowski to Jake Simonchek.
That touchdown brings it a 2-possession game for UWSP. Simonchek with the outstretched grab, able to haul that one in. And with 9:50 left here in the third quarter, the Pointers facing a 2-touchdown deficit.
Still time, but 25 minutes remaining in this one, but it is now 24-10 thanks to the leg of Byrne. Extra point is good. And the Pointers now trail by 14. Mike?
Yep. It's, excuse me, 24-10 lead now in favor of UW La Crosse. They have been very good on that first offensive series, as Joey Stutzman was the one carrying the Eagles all the way into the red zone. And Simonchek capped it off with a nice red bow on top. And now it's a 2-touchdown game. So the Pointers still kind of in the hole, but still quite a bit of football yet to be played here.
I'd like to correct what I said before. My system didn't update. Stutzman now up to 124 yards on the ground this afternoon. He's eclipsed the 100-yard mark thanks to that 51-yard rush he had that set up that 5-yard connection between Lewandowski and Simonchek.
Yeah. And
Byrne now to kick it away for La Crosse. A little camaraderie. They stuffed 2 TV stations into the same booth, so we've got to interact. They might as well just mic'd us all up together, right? As TV from La Crosse hanging out with us, doing a little Macarena. Lucas will return this one from the 15 now off the leg of Byrne. He'll take it up the middle, cutting right, and they tried to strip it, but Lucas able to hang on to that one past the 30-yard line. Not a bad return for the defensive back, number 17, Donovan Lucas.
Please tell me you at least know how to do the Macarena.
I do know how to do the Macarena.
Everybody knows how to do the Macarena.
Hey, Macarena. Really good camera angles. You don't have one on me, but I do know how to do the Macarena.
Well, the Pointers, hopefully they'll be looking to bust out some moves here back on offense.
1st and 10 now from the 31-yard line. Hermansky and pistol. Shamaje Williams the back, and that's who has the ball now as he tries to sneak his way underneath and will get maybe a gain, if any. Maybe lost a yard, actually, is what they'll mark. So make it 2nd and 11. It's not often you see Shamaje Williams take a loss. So there's a rarity for you here in the season finale. 2nd and 11 now from the 31. And they'll shift into a gun now. Williams to the left of Hermansky as he'll step to the line, evaluate and analyze before making a final decision on where they'll go. Williams will flip to the right, now flip back to the left of Hermansky. 8 on the play clock, snap taken, a dropping back over the middle, thrown, caught, Baldridge, past the 40, pushed up to the 45-yard line. Nice connection between Hermansky and Baldridge. Good for a fresh set of downs.
We haven't mentioned Baldridge's name too much. He does have a couple receptions on the day so far. Not really much in terms of contribution, but nice play right there.
From the 44, pistol formation yet again. 2 receivers to the top of your screen, Baldridge and Webb. Krzyzewski to the bottom. Hermansky airing it out deep to Krzyzewski. It's caught up the sideline. Way into lacrosse territory as yet again Josh Krzyzewski comes out big in this one. His 3rd reception of the afternoon.
That was a great play right there. Finally, Hermansky connects with Krzyzewski down the field along the sideline. He goes out of bounds right around the 22.
Great work by Josh Krzyzewski, who had 6 catches entering today. Now he has 3 on the day. 9 total on the season. He's been a big contributor so far in this one as we get under 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Hermansky now pistol, throwing again. Left side, short slant, that's caught. Believe it was Jonte Webb, and it was on the reception. Good for a short gain.
Yeah, it looked...
gain of 6.
Not really much on that throw by Hermansky, the Webb.
Gain of 6 now. 2nd and 4 from the 17. A nice first down play in the red zone for Stevens Point now. Again, looking to the sideline for confirmation is Matt Hermansky. Out of the gun, who drops back again to pass. Pressure coming, airs it out deep. And that's just going to be thrown away, nobody home. And that'll bring us to 3rd down.
Hermansky getting a lot of communication from the backup quarterbacks on the sideline. Unfortunately injured Max Harrow, Brandon Stoger, and, of course, Coy Coffey, who has a couple of reps this year as well for the Pointers.
As Hermansky takes the snap. Hands it to Shamaje up the middle, and he will be stuffed on 3rd down.
So 4th down now and a little bit of decision-making.
I imagine they will send, or they will not. Ponterio hasn't moved a muscle on the Pointer sideline, so it'll be 4th and 5. They will go for it offensively, down by 14. Probably the right decision here in the season finale.
You have to go for it, I think, right here. You're down.
What do you have to lose?
Exactly.
Hermansky out of the gun. 2 receivers to the left. Make it 3 as Shamaje Williams is in motion. He's going to roll left, throwing left, caught to Webb, and Webb is hit hard.
But I think he's got the forward progress, Alex.
I think he does as well, Michael. He does indeed. A first down connection between Hermansky and Webb, the fellow seniors.
Yeah, great play right there by Jonte Webb, getting open. Took a hit there at the end, though, but got it right past the marker, and Pointers knocking on the door.
Hermansky now out of the gun. 1st down and 10 from the 11. Pitches it to Shamaje, who's got space up the left sideline, still on his feet, rolling forward. And good for a gain of about 8 on that one. Nice play by Shamaje. Gain of about 6 is what they'll rule.
And the Pointers' offensive line on the outside able to get Shamaje Williams enough room to run, and he gets a nice gain right there.
5:40 now on the game clock, 15 on the play clock as Hermansky takes the snap, gives it to Williams. Williams is wrapped up right away, nowhere to go there on second down. It was Rusty Murphy who was there for the tackle for La Crosse, who continues to stack the box and bring quick pressure.
Yeah, and third down right here.
3rd and 4 from the 5.
The Pointers, as the third quarter continues to wind down, only 5:10 remaining here in the third quarter. Have to get a score right here on the board. They're down by 2 scores. Picked up a nice 4th down conversion. Facing a 3rd down right here.
4 on the play clock as Hermansky shifts Soki to his right side. Hermansky going to take the snap. Flags fly. It's to Williams, who loses the football on the catch. Picked up by La Crosse, fumbled again. Now a pile. La Crosse jumps on it, but there was an early flag, so we'll see if this play even stands.
So Shamaje Williams gets hit along the sidelines, fumbles it, and we're going to see what the call is right here as the head referee, Jeff Linehan, calls over one of the other officials, but it's going to look like it's going to be UW La Crosse football.
Yeah, La Crosse already making their group substitution. Stevens Point is hesitant to do so. It's only Shamaje Williams that's on the sideline, but now Cameron Krasansky and Sam Schaefer have come out to the field, so it looks like they think it will be.
And it was
it was on La Crosse.
On Stevens Point, rather? Yeah, it was on Stevens Point.
Well, he signaled the wrong way.
The wrong way. Yeah, so it looks like UW La Crosse did get the full possession of the football from Shamaje Williams, and then they almost lost it again, too, but they luckily had the ball get fumbled out of bounds after they had controlled the football. So
another missed opportunity by the Pointers offense, their third turnover of the afternoon. So Cameron Krasansky and company will take over defensively, as Evan Lewandowski and company will go back to work on offense. Evan out of the pistol, fakes a handoff, rolls right, pressure coming, lets it fly, and it'll be just overthrown, intended for Speaker, his favorite target. But what a gutsy shot there by Lewandowski on first down.
Lewandowski and Speaker, no problems with them hooking up down the field at all earlier in this game. But Lucas has played a little bit more aggressive coverage right now against Speaker. This has been the prime matchup, too, between the defensive back, Lucas, and the wide receiver, Speaker.
17 minutes remain in the women's soccer game, round of 64 in the NCAA tournament. Still scoreless between Stevens Point and Adrian. As Stutzman gets the handoff, takes it down the left side. Ball's out late. Krasansky jumps on top of it. And are they going to rule it dead, or will they rule it point ball?
They are going to rule it point
They rule it point ball as Cameron Krasansky was all over that fumble. Like frosting on a toaster strudel, Cameron Krasansky complimented that football nice.
And that was all 100% Cameron Krasansky. Nice play right there. Put in the hit on Stutzman, and when the Pointers get the big hits on Stutzman, there's been a few times today where they've had the ball carriers lose the football. Unfortunately, not a couple turnovers have gone in the way of the Pointers.
The third fumble lost today for La Crosse. It's the third fumble they've lost with 4.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Hermansky now looking to throw. Pockets collapsing, so he'll elude. Heavy pressure, flag thrown, ball thrown, incomplete to Baldridge.
And it looks like it's going to be a holding call as Hermansky just threw it away.
And it will be indeed.
Yeah, not really much on that play that Hermansky could do as the pocket was collapsing. Did try to get one towards the middle, but Pointers unfortunately get called with the holding.
Hermansky now in the gun, double back set. It's Jahai Stegall and Jeffrey Williams back there with him. Excuse me, James Thompson, not Williams. It's Hermansky. Gets a block, throws deep to Webb, and that'll be overthrown and incomplete.
Hermansky, excuse me, had it's too much on his throws along the sideline. There's only been 1 or 2 targets that he's been actually able to hit during this game. Just too much down the field for Jonte Webb. Not necessarily bad coverage, but UW La Crosse keeping up with these wide receivers pretty well.
Brings up 2nd down and 20 to go from the 35-yard line of the Eagles. Hermansky and the Dogs in a shotgun set. Stegall is the featured back. It's a fake to Stegall, now a throw right side to Krzyzewski, who catches it again. And they are going to rule that a catch. Krzyzewski is having one heck of a day. His 4th reception. He's almost going to match his entire season totals.
Freshman wide receiver making a big contribution here today on a day dedicated to the seniors.
Jahai Stegall now on 3rd down will take it up the gut. He's spinning and staying on his feet somehow. He's doing his own version of the electric slide as he slides his way for a short gain.
Well, now that you've learned about the electric slide from our...
I can reference it in commentary now,
Exactly, yes.
All thanks to our friend Terry.
Yeah. And we had a lot of fun before the game, and hopefully now you know how to do it, as it's a first down, fresh set of downs for the Pointers.
As Stegall electrically slid his way to a 1st down. Here's Hermansky now out of the pistols. Webb's in motion. It'll go to Stegall, left side. He's running, got a block, still on his feet. And he's hitting the back as a flag flies.
And that one will go against the Pointers. So that will negate that carry. We're going to see who that one was on.
Between penalties and turnovers, Mike, it's been an interesting last 2 quarters for Stevens Point.
The Pointers, they get into situations like this where they capitalize off something like a UW La Crosse turnover, move down the field, and then they hit a stalemate. They don't really get anything into the red zone. They're just outside of it on the 25 right now.
3.5 remains in this 3rd quarter. It's 1st and 20 from the 25 now as Hermansky looking for evaluation from his fellow quarterbacks on the sideline. And he will be alone in the gun here on 1st down. Snap to Hermansky. Heavy pressure, 5 coming. It's tipped, batted, and it lands luckily. As Hermansky just had to get rid of it. The pocket was collapsing faster than it was created.
And La Crosse knocking it down. Luckily, nobody on the La Crosse side making an interception. And Hermansky in a situation where didn't have anything on that one.
Hermansky 19 of 37 for 219 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions thus far. From the gun. Takes the snap, drops back, 2nd and 20, lets it fly. Jonte Webb, end zone, touchdown! Pointers! Jonte Webb extends and grabs the touchdown. A nice throw by Matt Hermansky to make this once again a 1-possession game, 24-16.
Call him Matty Ice. What a throw by Hermansky to Jonte Webb. Beat the coverage into the end zone, and that was the play down the field that the Pointers need. They're only now within 1 score of UW La Crosse now, pending this extra point.
Pontario, big kick. Hold down, kick up, and it is good. Jonte Webb from Matt Hermansky, a 25-yard hookup, makes this a 7-point game. 2:57 remains in the 3rd quarter. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. We'll be right back. Don't you dare change that dial. This is Pointers Football on SPTV.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
How you doing, everybody? We welcome you back to Gerke Park in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, as the La Crosse Eagles hang on to a 24-17 lead, as the Pointers are still trying to hang in this one. Matt Urmanski and Jonte Webb, the two seniors, hook up for a 25-yard touchdown on Senior Day here at Gerke Park. We welcome you in the Don Friday press box. Alex Strofe alongside Michael Wengen for SBTV and the UWSP Athletic Network. 2:57 left in this third quarter as Pontaria lets that one fly, and it will be returned. Up the middle now is Simicek, and he's still running as he cuts right, and he gets into the slew of things. There's about 18 guys there as they push past the 30-yard line up to about the 33.
Simicek not wanting to be denied the extra yardage. Very good on special teams today, but the Pointers now are going to have their work cut out for them as they are down only one score now. And this drive right here is going to be critical for both sides of the ball as we get closer to the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, this fourth quarter might have something special in store. At least we can hope, can't we? Lewandowski now, offset pistol formation. Two receivers to the bottom of your screen. That's Lewandowski's left. Snap to Stutzman now is where they'll go, and he'll go right side line, that is. A gain of about 3 before he's dragged out of bounds.
And Stutzman
having a huge day. Huge day is Stutzman. 130 yards on the ground now for Stutzman.
Big numbers from Stutzman himself. Not too shy about using his legs.
This Eagles offense definitely has so much potential for years to come. Both Lewandowski and Stutzman, just sophomores. Lewandowski lets that fly to his favorite target, Speaker, but that's incomplete.
Yeah, Speaker, again, another man who's been quite a contributor, for the UW La Crosse offense.
Both 39 yards receiving and 39 yards rushing for Cole Speaker. What a coincidence. 39 in each.
Keeps it clean. Keeps it the same.
Exactly. 78 yards in total today for Cole Speaker, all-purpose yards.
Third down.
Loud here at Gerke Park. On third down as Lewandowski drops back, rolls, throws to Speaker, and Donovan Lucas is there to break it up and make that fourth down. Nice play by a guy that will more than likely be an all-conference selection, who's been absolutely phenomenal for both the Pointers defense and special teams all season long. Donovan Lucas, the junior.
That's a great play right there by Lucas, diving right in front of Speaker. And again, that's been the prime matchup today between these two men.
Cole Speaker and Donovan Lucas, absolutely, Mike, you're spot on. That's been the one to watch. Now Lucas, he goes nowhere because now he's got to return a punt, which is what he'll do, left side. And he'll run it out of bounds at about the 25, maybe 26-yard line. Busy guy. Goes from breaking up a pass to returning a punt in about 30 seconds.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Lucas with another WIAC nomination here on the season, to end the season. He's been on a high note so far today, and he's kind of been doing it all. Special teams, defense, whatever the Pointers need him out there, he's doing it.
And thanks to Lucas, he just set his team up in a position to tie this game for the first time since the first quarter. 1:56 remains in the third. The Pointers take over at their own 26-yard line. Urmanski will start in the gun. Jahai Stegall is the back. He will flex out to a wide receiver now. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 2 to the top. Urmanski lone in the gun, dropping back, heavy pressure over the middle. Stegall, it's caught. He cuts up the middle, good for a first down, and he's finally brought down about a yard past the marker, good for an 11-yard gain.
And Stegall keeping the Pointers going on, keeping them rolling as Urmanski throws the towel back.
Urmanski now, fresh set of downs. Stegall with him in the gun. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top. as they look for reassurance from the sideline. Looks like they've attained that with 15 on the game clock, 90 seconds and ticking on the game clock here in the third quarter as Thompson jiggies with it. Here's the snap to Romanski, gives it to Stegall, who's wrapped up right away, nowhere to go. A nice play by the Eagles defense. Leading the charge was Aaron Benson.
So the Pointers going to go back a couple yards. Three-yard loss right there by Stegall as we are just under a minute now in the third quarter.
Second down, about 14 to go now, as Hermansky and company will wait their signals. Jonte Webb at the bottom of your screen. He's over 100 yards receiving on the day for the Pointers offense. Look for him to make a move here on second down. Hermansky, snap. He's looking to Webb. Bottom of your screen at the 40-yard line. In between the hash marks now.
And Jonte Webb out there in the flat. But it's only a third down. Only picked up 12 yards on that reception.
Needed 13, third down and inches. They are right there, folks, as Hermansky's just going to give it to Stegall, who is wrapped up short of the marker. So this will bring a fourth down, likely to start the fourth quarter. Talk about anticipation as this clock will expire. Your score after 3 quarters, the La Crosse Eagles 24, the Stevens Point Pointers 17. The Pointers have a decision to make as we step aside and take a timeout. We're going to the last 15 minutes. Don't you dare go anywhere. This is Pointers football on SPTV and the UWSP Athletics Network.
You can't go and work for a software company that's quite like this.
With programming, you see this concept become a reality. And I think that's really rewarding.
When people first come in, they immediately realize they are a part of a family.
They really care that people are happy here.
You're going to find that you're going to get up in the morning and you're going to look forward to coming to work.
We've got a core of individuals that are going to reach a lot of new heights.
We're growing fast and always hiring. Apply today at skyward.com/careers.
Quiet on set.
We'll be back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take Ben.
Live at SPTV, mic check, audio check, news directors adjusting the sound, teleprompter running smoothly. Floor director, alert! Cameras are rolling, bring in the talent. Where's the makeup artist? Anchors ready for the news. Are you ready to join SPTV? That's a wrap. Lights out.
Welcome back, everybody. A punt from Carter Unger to start off this fourth quarter as we will see the Eagles take over now on offense as the Pointers could not capitalize on that opportunity created by Donovan Lucas. So Donovan Lucas and company, the defensive staff for this Pointers team, will come back out onto the field. But Evan Lewandowski and company will look to extend this lead now up by 7 as we begin this fourth quarter of play. Lewandowski will start in the gun, and he will drop back immediately, throwing over the middle, and it's through the hands of Cameron Sorensen on first down.
So with the fourth quarter now underway and the Eagles now with the ball, the Eagles will do their best to keep their offense on the field for as long as they can, as we have just a whole final quarter of football left to be played.
14:49 on the game clock as Lewandowski will give it off to Stutzman, who will go left. And he's got a lot of space as he reaches forward up to the 38-yard line of La Crosse. Nice play by the sophomore running back Joey Stutzman, who has been all over this darn field today. Been a big problem for the Pointers defense.
Should mention that too, that the Eagles have 207 rushing yards on the day, with 135 of them coming from Stutzman himself.
Now 142 for Stutzman after that gain of 7. Out of the pistol now, Lewandowski again to Stutzman, who will weave his way in between some defenders, and that's going to be close. I think he got it, as that is right in front of us I think he's got it by a couple inches at least. That should be good for a first down for La Crosse.
And
they're going to bring out the sticks, I think.
They have not switched anything yet for the marker. Still looks like they're going to.
They are discussing. No, they're going to say he's short. They're not even going to measure.
And
now they
are going to measure. I believe, though, you might be right, Alex. I think he might have had enough to get.
I think he got it. But it's going to be close.
It's going to be very close.
And here is the official measurement as they drag it, looking for accuracy. He is short.
Oh,
they got it. Just by a hair.
Just by the very tip of the football.
That was fun. I enjoyed the anticipation of that one.
That's a that's a call right there. Like that can,
that could totally change the game.
Yeah.
We still got 14 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in this game. It is a 7-point game. The Eagles now with a fresh set of downs will set their offense back up from their 41-yard line, getting close to Pointer territory. Lewandowski, pistol formation, Stutzman behind him, receiver to each side. He'll give it to Stutzman, who goes right up the gut. Gain of about 3 as 5 men were in the box for Stevens Point.
So the Pointers defense at times contains Stutzman, but when the UWL offensive line opens things up, it's a lot of trouble for the Pointers secondary when they have to try and bring down Stutzman.
A lot of experience on that offensive line for UW La Crosse, and it's shown in this one as Stutzman has ran all over the Stevens Point defense. And there he is again, Stutzman going left. A big hole up the middle, and another nice gain by the sophomore halfback.
So that's another third down situation for La Crosse. And, yeah, it's just very similar to the last one that they picked up. About third down and 2. As we are about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. And they're gonna
shift, gonna move around, gonna talk to coach on the sideline, and they've got their play call. Lewandowski on third down, a big play for the Stevens Point defense as Stutzman up the gut, and he is short of the first down, no doubt about that, as the Stevens Point defensive line holds up. But now what's the call? You're at midfield. You're up by a touchdown. You've got 2 yards to go. They are going to bring out the punting unit as La Crosse.
I can definitely tell that they're going to try and draw UWSP offsides, though.
Yeah. Donovan Lucas and Felix King will drop back to return for Stevens Point. There's the snap. There's the punt. A winding punt high in the air, and it's going to bounce out of bounds at about the 11-yard line of Stevens Point. They'll mark it all the way up at the 14, in fact.
It's a good punt right there by UW La Crosse. And now,
deep in their own territory, Stevens Point, but they need to capitalize.
This is crunch time for the Pointers.
Under 12 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. They're down by a touchdown. If they can go down and get a score, they put themselves in real nice position in this season finale.
And wouldn't it be something for the seniors to go out like that?
Romanski now out of the gun. As he always does, he double checks everything. And now they'll go. A pitch now to Stegall, who's up the gut. And he's brought down by a slew of Eagles. A flock of Eagles? What do they call? What's the official term there? A flock of Eagles.
Probably a flock of Eagles if it's a bird.
Got it. Good to know. I'll implement that over the next 11 and a half minutes.
Good to know.
Romanski out of the gun now, second down. And 4 to go from the 20. Romanski testing the Eagles' defense here on second down as James Thompson flexes to the opposite side. Handoff now to Stegall, who's got a hole right side. Still trying to be dragged forward by Berghauser. And they will be good for a first down for Jahai Stegall.
Stegall hasn't had many carries today. he has split a little bit of the backfield with Shamaje Williams, only 26-yard rushing, but you can add on that first down carry to his total on the day.
10:50 to go as Urmanski's in the gun here on first down. Flexing the back, taking the snap, dropping back, airing it out right side, almost intercepted as that was intended for Krzyzewski.
So Krzyzewski.
Joey Roth, the defender there, who laid out, and it went in between his hands, almost intercepted. Go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
Krzyzewski didn't really, I don't think he was set on that route right there. I think he turned around a little bit too late. It looks like he slipped too as he was trying to reach out along the sideline, and Crosse could have had another pick on the day. Pointers avoid a scary situation.
And now motion for Baldridge as Urmanski takes the snap. He'll hand that off to Segal, who will try to cut outside. In between the numbers now, still on his feet. Running the sideline as two different flags fly. Now one of them is going to be illegal hands to the face.
Yeah, and that's going to be on Segal right there, as we saw right in front of us get a hand on a face mask. But the other one, we'll see who this one's on. Sun's starting to peek in a little bit here.
The sun is starting to peek right in our eyes, Mike. Isn't that lovely? But that said, while the referees have a short conference, we should update you. In the round of 64, the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament, the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point and Adrian College, overtime in the NCAA tournament. Scoreless through 90 minutes, so they'll have a 10-minute period to decide the victor. We will keep you posted as that game is winding down as well. This sun is out and bright all of a sudden. Where'd that come from?
Face mask on the Pointers.
That'll be on Segal. Holding on the Pointers as well. Both fouls against Stevens Point. You will repeat first down. Or second down, excuse me.
And you know, if it wasn't already warm enough here in the press box, Alex, now we got the sun peeking in and kind of heating things up a little bit more now as the Pointers play right there goes cold with two offensive penalties to back them up.
You know, Mike, I feel festive because I've been roasting like a Thanksgiving turkey all afternoon in this press box. What can I say? I'm festive. Here we go. Second and now 20 from the 15-yard line.
And, yeah, a long second down from their own side of the field as the Pointers.
Urmanski double-checking everything over as they view the sideline.
They gotta get a playoff here, otherwise they'll have to take a timeout. And they
play clock was at 0, but I believe he got it off as he's chased. Heavy picked off and reach across the goal line. Touchdown, Lacrosse. What a play by Josh Dorschner, who just had it thrown right to him, and as he was tripped up, reached across the goal line and makes this a 13-point game once again.
Was he across the goal line? Because I didn't see a signal from anybody saying that he was in the end zone. I think he was just short, Alex.
He was short.
But not a great look by Urmanski. Terrible, terrible throw, and yeah, it is indeed a yard short as the
marked at the 1-yard line.
Eagles offense comes back on the field, but an ugly turnover by Urmanski. His third interception on the day, and this one's going to hurt the Pointers.
So out of the gun, Lewandowski, Stutzman next to him. Lewandowski rolling right, throwing right, and incomplete. It was intended for Speaker yet again.
So Pointers.
The third interception of the afternoon for Matt Urmanski, right in his own red zone.
It was almost
another pick six, which is what I thought it was.
I initially
just short.
I checked the stream too. It looks like the knee was down just before the ball went over the goal line. So
makes sense. Good call by the referees then.
So the Eagles now trying to punch it in and put this game almost out of reach.
Lewandowski out of the pistol, dropping back, throwing left corner, incomplete again to Speaker. Lucas in coverage. Oh man, is it getting toasty up in his
Yeah, it's kind of warming up a bit. It's
Woo!
The sun is setting, and the sun is also setting on the Pointers 2019 season here as they look at a third and goal situation.
9:53 left as Lacrosse is knocking on once again, making this a two-possession ball game. However, third down now from the 2-yard line. Lewandowski to Stutzman. Stutzman up the gut. No signal.
And he is short as the officials rule him just at the 1-yard line, excuse me. So fourth down now, and the Eagles, I think, are going to bring out the field goal unit and take the 3 points.
So this would still make it a two-possession game if they can capitalize on this.
From that distance.
It's a short attempt, Mike, only about
21-yarder. 19-yarder.
19-yarder.
Almost a gimme, but nothing is ever guaranteed.
So Ryan Byrne to make this a two-possession game. Up, and he missed it.
No good.
Oh, he got it.
Oh, I thought it.
That just got in. From our angle, it looked like he completely missed it.
Yeah, I thought it got tipped and then went to the right, but he's good. And
Well, that changes that game immensely from what we thought we had. Now 27-17 as Byrne knocks in the 19-yard attempt.
Yeah, that looked real close, but Burns connects, and it's 27-17. 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Pointers are not out of it, but they're going to have a lot of work cut out for them if they want to get back to a one-possession game.
Absolutely, Mike. You're spot on with that analysis. It's interesting now for Stevens Point. It's not out of reach. It's just you can't make any more mistakes.
So,
Donovan Lucas is going to drop back to return. He's all by himself inside the 20-yard line. Has Byrne out to kick it away. 9:04 remains.
A couple times today, UW Lacrosse has kicked the ball out of bounds, so they'll want to try and avoid that as much as possible. Burns will just look to get a boot down the field and keep the Pointers from getting anything on a big return.
So here's Byrne. The kick up and over and it will again go out of bounds. The third time that's happened today.
It isn't necessarily a shot in the foot, but that doesn't necessarily help out UW Lacrosse.
Helps out UW Stevens Point, who needs the help right now, though.
So you start up
10.
at your 35-yard line. The UW Lacrosse is trying all they can to make sure that the Pointers don't get any great field position, and kind of been that case so far today, although great touchdown pass earlier by Matt Ermansky to Jonte Webb in the third quarter.
UW Stout over UW Eau Claire, 38-17. 8 minutes remaining in that one. Also 8 minutes remaining in River Falls as the 1-8 Falcons lead the 7-2 Pioneers of Platteville 31-24. Zermansky throws to his left, almost intercepted. Yet again, Rusty Murphy there in coverage.
Zermansky was thrown in a double coverage right there.
A flag thrown late near the 30-yard or 33-yard line. A flag just laying there by the numbers.
Probably right where the play happened.
I have a hard time believing it'd be pass interference. We're going to call a personal foul on the defense.
Wondering who was that.
Yeah, that one I didn't see. That's interesting to me.
I think the wide receiver took a hit at the end, but I don't think that wasn't anything worthy of a penalty, I think, from that hit. Nonetheless, the Pointers catch a break and move up to midfield.
Yeah, right at the 50-yard line is Stevens Point with 9 minutes exactly on the clock. The sun is shining up to 42 degrees here at Gerke Park in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on your Saturday afternoon. Hope you're doing wonderful. 27-17 is your score if you're just joining us. UW Lacrosse on top. First down now from midfield. Stegall will trip his way over midfield, a gain of maybe half a yard.
Yeah, delayed handoff right there from Romansky to Stegall. I don't think necessarily that Stegall had it somewhere where he could go through. And that was the case, as Stegall didn't even pick up anything on that carry.
Hermansky shifting his offense around. And he will now be solo in the gun. He'll drop back, looking to throw. He's got time, over the middle, caught. Devin Baldridge, who gets picked by the leg, but up to the 42-yard line of La Crosse now are the Dogs inside the 8.5 minutes of this one.
Good pass right up the middle by Hermansky, and Baldridge, the man that has been so good for the Pointers up the middle.
Third down now, Hermansky dropping back, time, eluding pressure, throwing, sideline, caught, Webb, no, he dropped it. He dropped it as he was hit. He had possession and then lost it as soon as he had contact. Tried to maintain by fumbling around with it, but couldn't quite hang on. That brings up fourth down for Stevens Point. They're past midfield, 2 yards to go. You have to imagine they go for it down 10 points.
Oh, absolutely. There's no other options that you can take. Punting the ball would just allow UW La Crosse to eat up as much clock as they can and run this one out. But the Pointers have made several big fourth down conversions here, and they're looking for one again.
The sun is shining.
And we're going to get
a
timeout.
And Stevens Point will take their first timeout of the second half. 7:54 remains. 27-17, Eagles lead, but Stevens Point starting to roll. More action when we return. This is Pointers football on SBTV.
UW Stevens Point is home.
It's a university where professors know your name and get you involved in research.
They inspire us to realize big dreams.
At UW Stevens Point, sustainability is what we stand for.
Our beautiful campus encourages exploration, developing new fields, and problem solving for the real world.
It's a great place to launch your career.
UW Stevens Point is home.
Apply today at uwsp.edu.
Welcome back in, everybody. Gerke Park in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. 7 minutes, 54 seconds remain in this WIAC matchup. The season finale for each team, the 6-3 Eagles versus the 3-6 Pointers. The 6-3 team leads 27-17, but the 3-6 team is rolling here into Eagles territory. It is fourth down, though, 4th and 2 to go from the 42 of the Eagles. Hermansky will line up in the gun. Thompson, fake motion. They will pitch it to Stegall, who's got a hole, but he will be tied up short of the first down. Back to the Eagles.
Stegall refused to go down, but immediately the Eagles' defensive line was right there. He wasn't going anywhere on that one. La Crosse had enough time to just keep UW Stevens Point from getting that critical first down, and with about 7.5 left here in the fourth quarter, UW La Crosse gets another score. This game is kind of pretty much in the books. I don't want to rule anything out yet.
If they can tack on another score, it's out of hand. But right now, they're still in it. As Lewandowski's going to let this thing fly, and it is incomplete. A nice look, though. He was intended for Cameron Sorensen, and holy smokes does Lewandowski have a cannon on him.
Big play down the field. Big look down the field from Lewandowski to Sorensen. Fortunately, that's the second big play down the field that does not go in favor of the Eagles, as it looks like that was, couldn't really see I think it was Felix King in coverage on that play. Nice job by that. Nice job by King on that play.
7:41 now as Lewandowski check down pass to who else but Speaker. Gain of about 3, but that will bring up third down. As Lewandowski and Speaker have been in pretty close contact all afternoon, as those two, the dynamic duo on that offensive front, but you, of course, the trio with Joey Stutzman, who's had an absolutely ginormous afternoon, and we can only imagine it's going to get bigger in this last 7 minutes. As La Crosse controls, but the Pointers have a big opportunity here defensively. Third down, 7 to go from the 45. And without a conversion here, Stevens Point could put themselves right back in position to be within this game. As Lewandowski throws on third down.
And it's incomplete.
It is incomplete, caught out of bounds. It was intended for Dominic Lebalarte.
I think with Labarde, I think whoever it was, I think it was O.J. James along the sideline, got a hand on it and forced Labarde to make the catch out of bounds.
So now with 6:52 remaining, Sean Parker will punt this away. It's Donovan Lucas back for Stevens Point, and he's going to have the opportunity to return this one as he splits the defender still on his feet. Now rushing toward the sidelines, but he's wrapped up at about the 14-yard line of Stevens Point.
6:41 left here in the fourth quarter.
And now Stevens Point going to have to get moving offensively, as Mike said. 6 minutes, 41 seconds, down by 10. If Stevens Point can tack in a touchdown quickly, this becomes a very, very intriguing fourth quarter.
The Pointers got to get a big play down the field. That'll boost Matt Hermansky's confidence a little bit.
84 yards to work with. Matt Hermansky lone in the gun. Takes the snap. 5 coming. He throws a Soki, but that is incomplete, overthrown. The Eagles rush 5.
It's been really tough to watch Hermansky look for these open targets, but he's overthrowing a lot of these guys who are able to get the ball into their hands, as we saw right there, that pass on the outside to Saki.
Hermansky out of the gun. He's dropping back, looking to throw deep in the direction of Krzyzewski, and that is incomplete. That is the 7th target for Krzyzewski this afternoon. He had 6 catches coming in today. I know I keep repeating that, but that is so mind-boggling to me as Josh Krzyzewski has kind of been the unsung hero for this Pointers offense.
He's going to be somebody to keep an eye out for next year as a sophomore when Krzyzewski becomes one of the guys to be a starter on this Pointers offensive team as well. So Krzyzewski wasn't able to get ready on that one as he turned around way too late on Hermansky's throw.
Third down now, 3 on the play clock, running out of time, 2-1. Snap comes out. Hermansky looking, Shamaje caught up the sideline. And that is good for a first down all the way up to the 30-yard line. Nice check down throw by Matt Hermansky and Shamaje Williams yards after the reception. Good enough for a Pointers first down. Now under 6.5 minutes are the Pointers here in this fourth quarter. 27-17 remains the score as Hermansky and company looking to start rolling now as he looks to throw. Has a lot of time, rolling back into the pocket, and now he's got pressure, throwing out of bounds, thrown away as pressure was collapsing and nothing was there for the QB.
Man, Sonny Saki was wide open in the middle of the field. Hermansky under some pressure, though, however, couldn't find anybody as Saki then had a man on him, but Saki was open momentarily and had Hermansky look towards his way. The Pointers might be at midfield right now.
Here on second down now. Hermansky dropping back, looking, throwing for Shamaje, but that's incomplete.
Pointers offensive line has to give Hermansky a lot more protection as he's having to scramble out of the pocket quite a bit here.
Again, the Eagles bring 5 on that one, and the pocket just collapsed immediately for Matt Hermansky. That makes it third down. Hermansky dropping back, looking, time, he's wrapped up, and falls out. And that is still free.
Picked up.
Finally recovered by Crosse. It's Josh Dorschner yet again who had the interception earlier in this quarter. Now he recovers a fumble. Josh Dorschner, have a corner, big man. Both an interception and now a fumble recovery in this quarter alone for Josh Dorschner, the sophomore from Neenah, the former Rocket.
And just under 6 minutes now. Crosse, first and goal from the 7-yard line. One score right here.
Anything here pretty much puts a nail in the, well, maybe not a field goal, but a touchdown puts a nail in the coffin here on the Pointers season. Let's see what they do. Lewandowski, he's going to keep it rolling right, and he is dragged down before he can do too much damage. Cameron Kazansky on the tackle.
So that is the, I believe, the third fumble on the day for UWSP, and that one comes at the worst possible time. Excuse me, that's the first fumble on the day for UWSP. And this sun continues to shine right here in the press box, and the sun dropping as well as the end of the Pointers season.
Lewandowski now. Pistol. Stutzman. He's still on his feet, rolling. Wow, what a score by Joey Stutzman. It looked like he was speed skating his way into the end zone as he was weaving the 5'7" frame he has all the way essentially to an Eagles victory, now leading by 16, soon to be 17. Assuming Byrne can knock this in. Joey Stutzman, good from about 5 yards out. Way to weave as I take a look at the replay here. Wow. Great play by Stutzman. Kick is up, and it is good. It is 34-17. Pointers on offense when we return. This is Pointers football on SBTV. Welcome back, everybody, at Gerke Park in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. The La Crosse Eagles have taken a 34-17 lead with about 5 minutes remaining in this one, in this season finale that is here in WIAC play. And overall, the season for each of these teams out of contention for a WIAC championship. But however, a WIAC championship game being played tonight between Oshkosh, the host, and number 3 UW Whitewater. The winner of that game wins the WIAC.
And that should be a good one, definitely.
Starts at 6 p.m. Central Time as this kick is up and away. Donovan Lucas will take it up the middle now, looking, cutting, and he will be brought down. Ball's out, but it was whistled dead. And Donovan Lucas is rolling around. It looks like he's in pain, and he is.
That's something here that the Pointers have seen too much today here on Senior Day. A lot of their guys going down, and a player like Donovan Lucas with about 5 minutes left. It's hard to see a player who has been very solid today overall for the Pointers.
And so
on the
good
ground
all year long, like Donovan Lucas. And with only 5 minutes remaining in this season, he's going to be attended to by the training staff.
Meanwhile, in some more positive news, the Wisconsin Badgers pulled out an important win over the Nebraska Cornhuskers today, 37-21, as they won in Nebraska earlier today. Meanwhile, keep an eye on another important game in the Big Ten. Number 23, Iowa, who the Badgers beat last week, is leading number 7, Minnesota, 13-0, as the second quarter just gets underway in Iowa.
In not so good news, Adrian has taken a 1-0 lead over the UW Stevens Point women's soccer team in the second overtime. Just about 9 minutes remain in that one, so a crucial goal necessary.
And as we mentioned too, the volleyball program will play tonight against St. Benedict for a 7:30.
Well, that is a final, excuse me. The
Time.
season has come to an end for the UWSP women's soccer team. 1-0 is your final as Adrian College advances to the round of 32 in women's soccer.
Great season overall for Dawn Crow and her program. Congratulations to the UWSP soccer program on making their first appearance in the NCAA tournament since 2010.
That's absolutely
great way to close out the decade for the program.
As Donovan Lucas is going to need some assistance off the field, which is unfortunate to see. We wish the best for him, as you never want to see anybody hurt, let alone 5 minutes left in the season.
And Donovan Lucas,
who has had an exceptional season. He may be named the MVP of this team this season, I would imagine. He has been just huge for this team.
And he will be one person that will be continuing to be a factor on defense and special teams next season for his senior year as the junior defensive back goes to the sideline, unfortunately, here with 5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Lucas finished the year before today. He came into today with 38 tackles, 3 interceptions, which was the most on the team, which will remain more than likely, and 2 kick returns for touchdowns. So quite the year for Donovan Lucas in his junior campaign. Hermansky now airing it out deep. That will be caught along the sideline past midfield. That was number 81, Joe Hare.
Joe Hare, it is confirmed, Joe Hare. We do have 2 number 81s in the program, but it is indeed the wide receiver.
I did it correctly this time. Last time I got it wrong. This time I got it right. There's always an opportunity to redeem yourself in this life.
And get a couple of these younger guys, these underclassmen, a little bit of some reps here as the Pointers, unfortunately, down by 17.
Under the 5-minute mark now, about 4.5 remaining. Hermansky now out of the gun. He will hand it off to Shamaje, who will just be stopped in his tracks for about a loss of 1.
I do have to say, Alex, I would like to give a shout-out to one of our news producers at SBTV, Sarah Sartell. I told her I would give her a shout-out. It's her 22nd birthday today.
Well, happy birthday, Sarah.
So happy birthday, Sarah, from me and Alex here on the broadcast, as well as everyone else at SBTV. Hopefully you're enjoying your time down in the Dells.
Is that where she is?
That is where she is, as she's celebrating with friends down in the Dells.
2-back set now in the shotgun formation. Make it a 1-back set as Jeffrey Williams will flex to the left as Hermansky going to escape the defenders, take it himself. Going to use the sideline. Jeffrey Williams lays a heck of a block as Hermansky gets
and we got a late
flag
coming in. And that, it sounds like it's going to be against Stevens Point. That was a great block, though, by Jeffrey Williams on the outside.
That was an awesome block. But you can hear, hopefully you can't hear the expletives coming out of the Stevens Point fan section beneath us. They're not pleased with the fact that that penalty flag flew, but we're going to have a conference. They've already taken away 1 flag tonight. Maybe they'll take away another.
I didn't really see too much, and they're going to pick up the flag.
They are going to pick it up.
Great. Nice.
I do agree with that, Terry, yes. We're going to intertwine broadcasts. We need a bigger mixer, Terry, so we could just help each other.
Been a lot of fun, though, up here with the UWL TV broadcast. And that's the second time today that a flag against UWSP gets picked up.
Interesting enough. It's very rare you see that happen twice. 3.5 minutes now. Hermansky dropping back. He's just going to let it fly over the middle, and it goes through the hands of Joe Hare, who just had that nice catch up the sideline.
I think he took his eyes off of that one right there. He had the ball in his hands, and then I think lost it for a second, and it goes incomplete. Sun is now completely gone. It's hidden behind the clouds.
Good, because that's where it would have hurt our eyes a lot.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to complain too much. Hermansky now, pistol formation as the receivers are going to split out wide to the top of your screen, that is. Hermansky. Snap, dropping back, looking, lets it fly. Oh, and it's caught. Nice pressure there. It's Jonte Webb yet again.
And that was right through the hands of sophomore Brad Tobin, went right through the defensive back's hands and into the hands of Jonte Webb.
3-10, 17-point game as Hermansky rolls right, lets it fly toward, or actually out of bounds. as Webb was in the area, but tight pressure on him, so that'll stop the clock, 3 minutes, 4 seconds.
So Jeffrey Williams and Jahai Segal, check back into the game. As the Pointers are on the UWL 30-yard line.
Here's Hermansky out of the gun, 2 backs with him. Make it 1 again as Williams flexes out left. That's where it'll go. Jeffrey Williams now cutting left. 4 Eagles there. That's considered a flock of Eagles.
And we got a late flag, too, that came in. Came flying in just like the flock of Eagles.
Just under the 3-minute mark now.
And it might be a holding call. We'll see right here. So it's
a chop block, exactly. I don't remember the last game I've been at where I've seen a chop block called.
Yeah, I can't think of that
something
either.
That doesn't get called very often.
It's like clipping, too. You never really hear a clipping call. Horse collar tackle, you might see that once in a while.
You see that a little bit more than you see a clipping foul, I think.
Chop block and clipping are probably the 2 calls in football I don't think you ever really see. I remember there was one instance in the NFL where they didn't call leaping or something like that for over 50 years. And this chop block penalty right here puts the Pointers back at the 45.
34-17 now, 2:57 remains as the Pointers looking to add on a score as Hermansky is swamped. That pocket just collapsed. There was 5 Eagles in on that. 5.
And that's where the real flock of Eagles get scary.
Wow.
And 3rd down and 36. I know my dad would usually make a joke here about digging deep here in the playbook, but with 2 minutes here left in the game, there's not really much the Pointers are going to be able to do.
Hermansky out of the gun on 3rd and 36. You heard that right. Lets it fly. Jonte enters. Oh, he couldn't hang on to it.
That was Tobin right there. Almost had the interception. That would have been Hermansky's 4th on the day, I believe. So.
And that will likely do it for the Pointers offense this afternoon. As Hermansky and company trot off, that could be the last we see of Matt Hermansky, the 4-year Pointer, the 3-year starter. And unfortunately, he will walk away with a loss more than likely. Jonte Webb, who had a great game today and a great career overall, comes off the field likely for the last time, as well as Unger punts this away, and O.J. James will grab it at the 19-yard line is where the Eagles will take over. 1 minute and 56 seconds.
Yeah, and I can imagine one first down carry might do it, as I believe a timeout. Something happened right there. I think a flag came in. Yeah, we do see a flag on the field.
A flag way back at the 40-yard line.
And it's a holding on UWSP.
They're going to re-punt it, and this is going to become 4th and 46. I think they should toss the offense out there, right? What do you have to lose in the final game of the season? I think you bring in the offense, and if they convert a 4th and 46, you get fired up about it.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Terry over there agrees with us.
Unger punting it away now. It'll be bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing up to about the 30-yard line.
30-yard line is where it's downed. And now UWL
down to 145.
We'll come back out on the field for, a minute 45. This game is pretty much in the books. It'll probably just only take 1 first down, and that's it. I can't imagine Breitbach wanting to use any of his timeouts. So it's been all UWL today.
And it's Speaker yet again on the little reverse they've been running all afternoon. It's good for a gain of about 2 that time, as a Band-Aid has finally been slapped on that play, as previously it was averaging about 13 yards per time they ran it. That time only good for about 2 or 3 yards. And the clock continues to roll. Stevens Point does have 2 timeouts, but it doesn't look like they will use them. As we're now at 70 seconds remaining and counting, as the play clock is at 12. I'd imagine that we will see Lewandowski let that run down, as we will. Now under a minute. And so give it to Stutzman, who is good for a first down.
And we are now officially under a minute in the fourth quarter.
And your trip around the WIAC, it is a final from River Falls, maybe the upset of the WIAC season, as River Falls beats UW Platteville 31-24. UW Platteville was 7-2 heading into today's game, as Speaker again will take it. River Falls was 1-8 entering today. Talk about a David and Goliath situation, where River Falls now will finish 2-8, UW Platteville 7-3. UW Stout at UW Eau Claire has also come to a final, and it wasn't close. UW Stout 45, UW Eau Claire 17. And your final from Stevens Point, 34-17, as UW La Crosse will roll. We'd like to thank our statistician, Tim Bone, our director, Rachel Ellis, our camera operators, Brianna Schmidt and Ryan Kreft. A big thank you to Michael Wengen for joining me on color commentary. As always, we're going to take a timeout, and we will be back to recap this finale loss for Stevens Point. This is Pointers Football on SBTV and the UW Stevens Point Athletic Network.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well, but it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
We welcome you back to Gerke Park in Stevens Point, as this one has gone final. UW La Crosse 34 to UW Stevens Point 17. The Eagles will finish 7-3 on the season, and Stevens Point the opposite, 3-7 overall on the season. We'll run through some stats real quick before we say our final goodbye for the 2019 football season. We'll start with UW La Crosse's offense. Evan Lewandowski, 14 of 29 for 121 yards and a touchdown through the air. Speaker was the leading receiver for UW La Crosse, 8 receptions for 47 yards. As Cole Speaker, 47 yards receiving, also 39 yards on the ground. But on the ground, this day belonged to none other than Joey Stutzman. 22 carries, 165 yards, a pair of touchdowns on the ground. Lewandowski also had 43 on the ground. Defensively, Roth with the leading. He had 5 in total. Joey Roth, that is the sophomore from right here in Stevens Point. He had a total of 8 tackles, and Murphy, Rusty Murphy, who was all over the field today, had 9, leading all in this one. And for the Pointers offense, Matt Hermansky finishes his career. He threw 54 passes today, Michael, 26 of 54, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, good for 330 yards in his farewell game. Also in his farewell game, he had a big one too. Jonte Webb, 9 receptions, 129 yards, and a touchdown. As James Thompson had the other receiving touchdown for Stevens Point. On the rushing side of things, Shamaje Williams, 77 yards on 12 carries. Jahai Stegall, 30 yards on 13 carries. Defensively, Nevada Labs, 14 tackles. Cameron Kazansky with 9. Again, your final from Stevens Point, 34-17. Eagles win and will finish 7-3. Pointers finish 3-7. The 2019 season has officially come to a close.
Yeah.
Mike, overall, the last 10 games have been a wild, wild ride. Only a 3-win team this year, Stevens Point. But there was good things that came out of it as well.
Yeah, and anything, too. Like, it's a disappointing finish to the season that you're losing out here by 17 on senior day. The Pointers finished 3-7 overall, 2-5 in the WIAC. Did have a nice big win in their home opener against a then-ranked Wabash College team, 31-24. The second consecutive season where they beat or upset a ranked opponent at home. And, of course, you take a look at their victories against UW River Falls and UW Eau Claire as well, both scoring over 30 points. And there were times this season where the Pointers did have an opportunity to win games on the road, especially against teams like UW Oshkosh, who was going to be in a big matchup tonight against UW Whitewater, and, of course, losing a tough one in double overtime against UW Stout. So there were opportunities for the Pointers to get a couple more wins than what their record shows, but unfortunately it didn't happen this season, and the Pointers will look to get better next season as they lose quite a few starters from this senior group this year.
Your final score from Stevens Point, 34-17. The Pointers finished 3-7 on the 2019 season. I thank you once again to our statistician, Tim Bone, our technical director, Rachel Ellis, our photographers, Brianna Schmidt and Ryan Kreft, and to Michael. That's it for football, Michael.
Yeah, and I should mention this, too. We'd like to give a big thank you to anybody this year for tuning into our broadcast here. We've enjoyed bringing you coverage of Pointers football as well. Thank you again to everybody as well who has helped out with the broadcast all season. You guys rock, and we couldn't have done this, honestly, without you. And Alex, thank you again for coming on air for all the games so far this season. I believe the only one you missed was the one last game against UW Eau Claire, but thanks again for doing such a great job, and I know next season you'll do a great job as well continuing to broadcast these games.
Well, thanks so much for the opportunity, Michael. We love doing this, and we appreciate you all following along. So that'll do it for our 2019 football season. Again, your final score from Gerke Park, 34-17. For Michael Wengen, I'm Alex Strofe. Thanks so much. Be good, and we'll see you soon.